about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our number one goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group. Have you ever considered turning your home into a rental and build wealth at the same time? People throughout the river region are doing that right now. By investing wisely in the right property or turning your current home into a rental is the secret. Hiring a property manager to professionally manage your property is the way to prosperity. Our company does all of the advertising, personally showing prospective tenants, does a thorough background check and credit report before moving forward. Over 15 critical services are provided to our clients in protecting the asset, but also providing the best residence in your home possible. Collecting rent on time and frequent inspections help landlords feel better about renting their house, and to provide clean, well-kept homes that anybody would be proud to call home. For a complete list of property management services, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
After damning politicians uphill and down dale for many years as rogues, vagabonds, frauds, and scoundrels, I sometimes suspected, like everyone else, I often expect too much of them.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Well, what a beautiful day. I got to start off the day by giving away a scholarship in my mother's name to a very worthy recipient there at Montgomery Catholic. That's why I'm a little dressed up. And we also, Eddie's recording a commercial, but we have Byron Shee here in the studio. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Joey.
Good to see you, man.
As always, but it's good to know that it's actually for a worthy cause this morning,
Exactly.
as opposed to just your social life. So,
Right. Well, lack thereof, my social life.
not dressed like that, buddy.
Oh, come on, man. I'm trying to bring the vest back. And it's not just me. I think the vest is coming back.
I think you're doing a good job.
And I think the era of this form-fitting suit, the suit I wore this morning, got out of it. Because it was tailored to be more form-fitting. I'm like, I feel like fat man in a little coat.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it fits, like the button fits all, it's like too tight up here. Let's go back to like the Clark Gable, like let's drape it on us a little bit more.
There's got to be a happy medium. You know, you look
There
at
might
the,
be.
the 90s and everything was two sizes
Yeah, I don't
too
want
big.
the big shoulder. Yeah, I don't want that.
The Talking Heads, you know, David Byrne
Right,
suit. you know.
right. No, I agree with you there. But, you know, that kind of classic draping, tapered down. It's like one big look instead of trying to accent your muscles or something like that.
What muscles?
Right, exactly. What muscles? Good answer. Well, and I started off the little speech I gave before we handed out the scholarship saying, I talk for a living, but I'm not used to talking in front of people. So excuse me, I'm nervous, but I'm happy to be here because usually the only person I see all day is my middle-aged fat co-host, Eddie.
Okay.
And, well, but I just found out the other day that I weigh more than Eddie now. So I guess the diabetes is on the other foot. But you're skinny. You're in shape. What's your secret?
Overworked. Not taking enough me time.
Fair enough.
Stress. I mean,
And today apparently is a national day of prayer.
every day should be, but
Right. And this is where there's nothing wrong with prayer. And there's nothing wrong with leaders encouraging folks to pray. But I'm looking at, this is from Will Graham's Twitter. All the way back in 1952, my grandfather, Billy Graham, held a rally on the east steps of the United States Capitol building that helped spur along the passage of the National Day of Prayer. As you read the full story, take a moment to pray for our nation today. Well, that's not a terrible message. But, okay, all the way back in 1952, we do that. How are we doing today? And I guess I've named the show, This Thursday is a National Day of Prayer, says our depraved political class. Like, thank y'all for reminding us of what folks should be doing in the quiet of their own heart anyhow.
I mean, yes, we should all pray, obviously. But what is prayer without repentance?
Right.
I mean, we got a lot of crooked letters in position of high places that probably should, look in the mirror a little bit longer in the morning before they go off to do the people's business.
Absolutely. Now let's start with this, what you were bringing up. If we're ready to go with it.
I mean, as ready as we're ever going to be, I
You
guess.
framed it as the number one thing, most important thing that nobody's talking about.
That I didn't know about 30 minutes ago.
Right. And I didn't know about it until about 5 minutes ago when you started telling me about it.
So the backdoor efforts to pass the popular vote is proceeding at an alarming rate. And, 30-second version, if a state enters into this compact, then no matter if every person in that state votes for their red or blue candidate of choice, if the other side, if that person gets 50% plus one of the popular vote, then all electoral college members for states participating in this compact will go to the person who won the national vote.
So the way it works right now for people just keeping score, say you win the state of Alabama, all of Alabama's electoral votes, it's a winner take all.
There's a few states that do it differently, Nebraska being one, I believe Maine's another, but this is a more concerted effort by those who want to abolish the electoral college.
So that's crazy. And just to give it back to you, and Eddie's here now too. Hey, how you doing, Eddie?
Doing good. How you doing, Joey?
I'm all right, surviving, I guess.
Yeah, you look like you're thriving over there, baby.
I told everybody how I told Catholic you're fat. But then I said I'm actually the fat one.
No, it's okay, Joey.
That's the joke. He's actually looking quite good these
It
days.
makes you feel better. Although I got chocolate stains on my white shirt.
Yeah?
Yeah, Twix bar.
I love the shirt.
Yeah, well,
The dogs were
Twix
cool,
bar.
palm trees were
A
also.
palm tree, yeah. It looks like you're already in
Well, I
Jamaica.
feel like honestly I should be fetching somebody a drink, but then I look down, I see
You
the
should.
chocolate stains, and fat boy got to mess up again this
Now,
morning.
did you just hear what Byron was laying down?
Gross.
Did, and it's kind of
So
Bothers
and
me
this
just a
isn't
bit.
just hypothetical
No.
in the sense that a state has now passed this.
Mhm.
And it was
I mean, apparently multiple states have agreed. I'm still in the fact-finding stages
Okay.
of figuring out all the states that have agreed to this, but the one that was brought to my attention this morning most recently was Maine.
wow. So if no matter what happens in your own state, you're going to look at the national popular vote, and the electoral votes will go whoever gets the popular vote, thus destroying the
yeah.
electoral
So why do
college.
we have them around? Why are we
Right.
having them around at this point? I mean, this is the way it's going to go, and I don't.
Well,
think
and
there's
I
gonna be no
mean,
stopping.
maybe it's more honest. The states are not really sovereign; they're just administrative
This is very
pass-throughs,
true.
right?
Yeah, but all right. So using the Nebraska model, if every congressional district, if it was broken down that way, I believe that's the way it was actually intended to operate. The
Mhm.
EC, then I think that kind of solves a lot of the issues.
Yeah.
It returns the vote more directly to the people.
Mhm.
Everyone, it wouldn't be a winner-take-all system, and people wouldn't be disenfranchised.
Well, there you go.
For all the hand-wringing and doomsday prophesizing as far as what's going to happen over the next 20 years and where the country's going to go, if this happens, whatever we're all thinking about,
That's
it
just
will
gonna
happen much, much more quickly.
Yep.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane.
The heartland will not go for New York or LA determining who's going to be the president
Correct.
of this country.
What's so fascinating is in the last, at least since I've been covering politics, so let's call it 15 years, started really following it in college. So over 15 years, I've noticed it's gone from like the Mitt Romney, Barack Obama cycle was this way in 2012, where it's about the issues, right? What issues do you care about most, voter? And that still goes on to a large
little
degree.
bit more pandering, I think. though.
But the conversation has shifted to, of course, personality, and that's always been there. But it's also shifted to like structural issues, to where it's not about what should tax rates be. It's not about how many people do we let in immigration. You're talking about massive structural changes to how the government works because I think the current structure is so dilapidated. We talked about this before, where I would say the house that is America today was first built by FDR
Okay.
and the New Dealers. And then there have been a few add-ons since then.
Oh, yeah.
But at this point, we've got light switches, and we don't even know what they do. Like, we're just there,
That's
and like,
very true, Joe.
and so I think both sides are starting to, if we can call it just both sides, it's more than two sides at this point. Let's call it the uniparty, the left, the right, and the politically homeless,
corporatists,
all this stuff. So if the structure, the house that we've been kind of going on since World War II ends,
Yeah.
if that's coming apart, we need to own up to the idea now is the time to rebuild and restore, and it's a matter of whose vision is going to win out.
That's worrisome right there, though. Under what administration do we take that task on? And because you
What?
know as well as I do, neither one of them will be.
Well, this is why I like Vivek, because he was calling for a big thing. Not that he would accomplish all of it,
Right.
but he was saying 75% headcount reduction. He's saying, I'm going to use current legal precedent and statutes to fire all these folks, to restructure the government fundamentally. And I think even if Vivek's overselling his point,
Yeah.
that's what they were so worried about with Trump first getting in there.
That's
Michael
true.
Flynn, who
That's
of course
true.
they went after, really wanted to restructure the National Security Council. And so we're in a weird spot because the careerists in D.C., why are they so pissed at Trump? It's because he's crude? No. These are some
No.
like depraved demonic types up there, man. I mean, some of them I'm sure are good people, but come on. Like this is not
He wants to affect the
kindergarten.
norm. He wants to affect their ability to do what they want to do when they want to do it.
And the norm is now decades old.
Yeah.
Like, look at the Ukraine policy. Why would you be so doggedly against somebody who doesn't want to send more money to Ukraine? Why would you call them every nasty name in the book, trying to just ruin them? It's because the Ukraine policy is about a 20-year-old at least
Yeah.
policy.
Well, not only that, that policy puts money in my pocket, and you're wanting to take that away.
And have the people really had a say about it? Has there been
Nope.
a robust conversation from the
Not at
leaders
all.
about a 20-year Ukraine policy? No, we're told to look at it like, freak out. Like, Putin just took Crimea.
Yep.
How dare he? It's like there's a whole story there that you're not telling the American people. And honestly, that's most American foreign policy. Like, we don't actually understand what are the big trends and plans for the elite at play. And it's that way with foreign policy. It's that way with so much of our domestic structure. But I think the beautiful thing is this. I don't hear many people saying, hey, let's jump into Afghanistan again. You see a few. Or like our over-the-horizon capabilities aren't good enough to take on
A few
ISIS-K,
warhawks, yeah.
which I think is still pig Latin for CIA. But so most folks, even the biggest hawks, are not like, let's jump back into Afghanistan. And yet, if we hadn't have pulled out in the awful, embarrassing way, the way they pulled out is awful. But if we hadn't have pulled out, we probably would still be there for another 10 years. My point is there are a lot of programs or, say, departments, institutions in this country. The only reason they exist is because they have existed for
So
a
long.
long time. And as soon as you have the cojones, pardon me, the balls to actually knock those things down, take a wrecking ball to them, there are going to be a lot of folks, right, left, even the establishment are like, actually, we called you all sorts of dirty names. We kind of want you to get out of town because you just knocked down all our stuff. But you kind of did us a favor.
Yeah.
Now we get to rebuild. And that's where we're at. And it leads to these high stakes games like, okay, are we going to scrap the Electoral College? Or think about what the Democrats did when Biden is named president. They stole it fair and square. We got to steal it back.
Let me read this real
Sure,
quick.
go ahead.
The National Popular Vote Law is a constitutionally conservative state-based approach that retains the power of the states to control how the president is elected. Conservative, right? You heard me say that. All right, so here are the states that have passed it so far. Tell me which one of these states glowingly fire engine red.
Sure.
Delaware, Hawaii, Rhode Island, Vermont, Colorado, Connecticut, Maryland, Massachusetts, Minnesota, New Jersey, New Mexico, Oregon, Washington, California, Illinois, and New York. But it's conservative.
It's conservative,
Yeah.
right?
And
right.
now we can add Maine.
Right. Well, so we have to lie about it, of course, but it's conservative because it's a 10th Amendment states' rights thing. But if you try to do the 10th Amendment states' right thing, red states, you're just neo-Confederates or something along those lines. You dirty Christian nationalists, you.
So they're already approximately, how many does Maine have? EC? 2?
Yeah, not many.
So it's either 207 or 208 to the 270.
Now, if it is all just blue states, though, does this really matter if the votes were going to go that way anyway?
If they get to the 270, then I think it does. because
Fair enough.
then it becomes real.
Well, I think what changes it is if a battleground state does this policy. So Georgia joins this compact, Arizona, Pennsylvania against Michigan, Wisconsin should be one in play, and they're already part of it, or they're considering it.
You said Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, yeah.
They're not on the list, but I have to imagine that they are. They have a good Republican legislature there. They typically lose a lot of the statewide Republican offices or state office, but the state house and Senate is pretty conservative.
Now, what I've noticed, though, the point I was making, is what do the Democrats do when they get in there after 2020? Do they address all the important needs at first everybody wants? No, they go for structural stuff.
Right. They go to make the major changes they can make.
Yeah, they wanted to expand and pack the Supreme Court. They wanted to add states to the union. They wanted to centralize election regulations all within D.C.
Right.
Like that. If you're going to go for power, it shouldn't be like, let's yell about a national abortion ban that we're never going to get passed. If you're going to go for power, you need to know how to use it and use it in a way that also increases your power.
Someone told me a long time ago that the person most likely to win the game is the person who understands the rules the best.
Yeah.
And when you have these incumbents or the powers that be writing the rules, then they're going to keep winning. And I mean, it's been kind of heartbreaking over the last few months or so listening to people that I consider conservative warriors. I mean, down for every fight, every election. They're disheartened.
Yeah.
And they're throwing their hands up.
And it's really, it's ominous because you would hope that the RNC and the head of the GOP, heads of it, had a wake-up call, but I think half the time they're...
Brother, this ain't going to come out of D.C., and you know it. It's going to have to come from the states.
Yeah.
You're right. And it's just a matter of waking people up. But, you know, let's all join in a national day of prayer. That'll change things, right? Not saying prayer is wrong. It's just
one prayer at a time, my friend.
Right. I'm not saying prayer is
Gotta have
wrong.
hope.
It's just, what are you praying about, number one? And I look, again, this was established, in 1952. And look at where the nation's gone in the last 70-something years. 272-9228. Before we go to the phones to talk to Soldier Boy, this part of the program brought to you by Josh and Leslie Ryder there at Dillon Rings.
Did you see what they put out, Joey? When I was cutting commercials in there on their Facebook page, probably on their Instagram page, I believe there's a beautiful bracelet.
I'm looking at it. The emeralds?
Yes.
It's absolutely beautiful. And it's not just emeralds. It's ring. It's not just emeralds like on a bracelet. It's rings, a pendant, a necklace, really beautiful stones. And this is all about, the month of May. Right. Celebrate May birthdays with their stunning selection of emerald pendants, rings, and bracelets, perfect for adding a touch of elegance and glamour to any outfit. You can explore the beauty of emerald, the birthstone of May, and find the perfect piece to cherish forever. So just visit Dillon Rings today to discover your new favorite accessory. Again, they're at 119 Brown Springs Road, right here in Montgomery, just off of, Atlanta Highway, right before Taylor Road, where the old Fun Zone used to be. Or you can always go to DillonRings.com or just search Dillon Rings on the Book of Faces. That's where I'm looking at all these. These are absolutely beautiful emerald pieces here on Facebook. And, man, Josh and Leslie Ryder, by the way, once you stop by, you're going to see, man, they got it going on. They can do appraisals, repairs, including watch repairs, custom design work, spa treatments, cleanings. They do it all there. So check them out today, and we'll tell you a little more about Dillon Rings a little later in the program. Let's go to Soldier Boy. Hey,
Soldier Boy.
Thanks for taking my call. 2 talking points today. I'm going to keep on track, okay?
All right.
First talking point. I heard yesterday John Bond, Claude Dam, Ben Claire, whatever her name is Jean-Pierre.
You mean Mean Green Jean, brother?
Yeah, I thought it was Mean Green Jean.
That might be her name, too. I don't know. I have no idea. I like what she said yesterday. The White House is thinking about bringing refugees over from Gaza.
Oh,
and there are 92% of them believe in Hamas. So we're just going to bring terrorists over here. Now, I remember when Obama brought Somalians over and put them in Michigan, and he put them in Minnesota. And look what and now look at that electrical, that voting, that little...
exactly.
That was all well planned.
Yeah.
Well, it was planned. And then we got Afghanistan's over here. I don't have a problem with translators and people that help us in the military, but we're just going to not even vet them, just bring them in. We're just going to load them up. And then we got about 10 million illegals from all around the world, and we've got about
15,000
40,000. That's right, 40,000 Chinese that are in our country to take on our military. I'm ready for Red Dawn Part 3.
Okay. Red Dawn Part 3.
It's
That's
going to be
right.
set
Load
in
up the
Texas, not
Yeah.
Colorado.
Yep.
Oh, is it going to be in Texas? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, they're going to be driving in those brand new pickups, probably government subsidies or something, and they're going to be coming, taking over and everything. And it's just ridiculous, but it's just amazing. So they're going to do that. The second talking point I want to bring up, Kristi Noem. Did you watch the interview with her last night with
I did
John?
not. No.
I wish you would have. I got to talk about fake news, okay? She put it in her book about shooting of the dog, okay?
Yep.
Mhm.
And there's not, and of course, the left had to run wild with that and made up their fake story and everything else. And she said, I wish you'd read the rest of the book. But Sean, I'll tell you what happened. Well, it was a dog that she adopted from another people. She lived out in the country, and she thought she could maybe change the behavior of this dog who had evidently, temperament problems, okay? So she said, hey, I'll adopt it, see if we can work something. Well, it didn't. It getting loose and everything, killing the neighbors' chickens and goats and everything else and everything. And it got to a point where she just had to put the animal down out in the country. That's what they do, okay? They made it sound like she shot a puppy. First of all, it was a full-grown dog. And she says, I got small children. And she says, I'm not going to let a dog run around that's done this to chickens and other animals and goats and stuff and have children.
Soldier Boy, let me stop you there.
Okay, stop me there.
Because the very mistake is her coming on Sean Hannity's show or it's not even, he's my adopted godfather. I don't like the man, but he's family.
He's family.
All right, he's family. He used to live next to Billy Joel. That's enough for me, despite me liking, I don't love his personality.
Is your blood family?
But here's the point. Her either explaining on Sean Hannity's show or trying to explain on Twitter in a serious way is falling into the propaganda game here. Either way, she's talking about killing a dog. And that allows people who maybe have no rural life, farm living, well, you got to do that sometimes. It allows all these pink-haired pansies to go, why would you kill animals and you're going to kill the wolf next? And you won't let me kill my baby. So you get into all that. What Kristi Noem should have done is made fun of them making a big deal out of this. Like I've been saying, she should have said, the dog told me he's voting for John Kerry. Wouldn't you have put it down?
Yeah, I guess I have dogs. But here's my whole issue. I guess the issue was about it being humanely, as she put the quote put the dog down. But you know what? Two talking points. A, she was nice enough to adopt it and take it out to the country. This dog, who they were going to euthanize anyway from the shelter, and she takes the dog and tries her best with it. Second of all, she's got children and small kids out there in the country. She can't do that after the dog has proved itself. Let's talk about Joe Biden. How many Secret Service got bit? 25 times?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 27, I think.
Did he get taken out to the so-called farm of Kristi Noem?
Talking about Joe?
Yeah, Joe's dog. He said he gave it up to some people out in the country that same thing.
Yeah,
could
my dad
change
told
it
me that
and-
same story about stray dogs that would show up at my house, too. We took them out to the farm. They're happier now. I got a feeling he lied to me.
Right.
The dogs didn't go out for a pack of cigarettes and never come back.
Right.
Exactly.
Hey, were they menthol?
They had to be.
That's up there with the milkman that comes by, doesn't bring any milk.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mom, why do I look
Yeah.
like a milkman?
But I see your point, Joey. I see your point, and I understand my point too.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
But
No,
yeah,
yeah.
Soldier, but why did she put it in the book? That's the part I don't get.
And I'm starting to
Well, you
think
know
these
what she
books
said.
are
Look
more
at
of a
the title. Look at the
liability than
title.
an actual business
Right.
card. Like,
Look at the title of her book.
right. What is it?
I forgot what it said, but basically the
Nomen?
concept is you got to make tough decisions sometimes.
All right,
Yeah.
right.
And and shooting an animal, even if it after it attacked and killed chickens and goats of your neighbor and everything, she's lucky the neighbors didn't kill the dog before he even got back to her property. But the thing is, she made a good point. Hey, is this rumor going around here that's true? Is Trump talking in the back of the Mar-a-Lago with Ron DeSantis about maybe VP ticket?
Apparently last
It
weekend
might
that
be.
was the deal.
That might be the case, or at least bringing on some donors, onboarding them, and making some
Do you
agreement.
think that would that help the ticket? You think?
I think it shows up the base.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, no doubt there.
yeah, maybe.
So one of them I have to move outside the state because of the Constitution. You can't have both people, right, from the same state.
I don't
I had
know
no
if
idea.
that's actually true. I'm going to have to check on that.
Yeah, because somebody mentioned exactly where it was on it and everything.
My advice would be Ron needs to stay in Florida, and Trump needs to pick somebody nobody's really expecting.
I think staying in Florida is a good idea.
Where's he at?
Who do you
Poll
think? Okay,
numbers?
Joey.
That's a good
Then
question.
tell me who, Joey. You don't give me a name.
I said I don't know.
My
Now
man-
I think
Exactly, I don't know. Who's
a
that?
good
IDK?
prediction would be
Scott.
who?
Scott.
Tim Scott.
Really?
That's
Other
not
folks
surprising.
float Tulsi Gabbard.
I think.
Oh, no,
I think.
I don't trust her.
Given what the unions are doing to offset that, you got to go with someone like Scott.
Ah.
You know they're going to go after him. Isn't his wife Caucasian?
I
Tim
don't
Scott?
know.
I have no idea.
I do believe so. Man, they look what they did to California when who was that guy that ran for the governor up there? They said he was a black white supremacist.
Yes,
I mean, if that's California. That could be anybody on
Yeah.
the Republican.
Larry
ticket.
Elder. Yeah.
Larry Elder, that's what it was. Yeah, Larry Elder. I said these people will call anybody anything to make the narrative fit.
Mhm. The
Yep.
ends always justify the means.
Exactly. All right, gentlemen, thank you for taking my call.
Appreciate
bud.
it. It's just no, like when I say somebody unexpected, I don't mean like I have the name.
Mhm.
I mean it would be cool if Trump surprised us, where everybody kind of went, "Oh, okay." And your VP pick is not going to outshine Trump. Now Scott is a good pick in that sense, but he does not inspire me at all.
Man, he brings the fire from the bully pulpit. I mean,
Tim Scott?
some of his speeches. I've seen some that kind of raise the hair on my neck a little bit.
Oh, okay. Eddie, how do you feel about Tim Scott?
Not so much.
Why?
Because
Because he married a white woman?
No, yeah, that's it. That's exactly.
I read through it.
I just think he could do better. I think it ought to be somebody that that really is not on, and I think it'll be somebody that's not on the radar. I really do. And the whole thing, you're not going to outshine Trump.
Right. So
And I don't
that
know-
means that's to me means okay. It's not DeSantis. It's not going to be
Right.
Vivek. Like
Well,
Tim Scott fits them all.
No, Vivek is still in there. 'cause-
You think so?
I mean, think about it from a cross-tab standpoint. Vivek, Scott, and there's a couple of politicians around our footing around here that may.
Are you talking about Katie Brett?
KT?
I'm not talking about anyone in
I think I
particular.
know who he's talking about.
Her name keeps getting brought up in
It
the
does.
national press about it.
Well, I mean, if you're a superstar, that kind of stuff happens, right?
Superstar.
You can't hide talent.
Right.
This
That's
is true.
That's very true. 272-9228. How about this? Let's hit a break. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Montgomery, I just have one question. What kind of car are you shopping for? If you want new Toyotas, pre-owned vehicles, and our best customer service and prices, it's all here at Toyota of Montgomery. No matter what you're looking for, the selection of new Toyotas are huge. Shop every model in every trim. Camry, Corolla, Tundra, Highlander. Plus, get an exceptional value with our certified pre-owned vehicles. They'll look, drive, and even smell brand new. The only difference is they cost thousands less. So what car are you shopping for? Chances are you can get it and save big on it at Toyota of Montgomery because it's all here. Big selection, great values, and exceptional customer service. Hurry to Toyota of Montgomery on East Boulevard, exit 6 off 85, part of the Sutherland Automotive Group, online at toyotamontgomery.com.
It's time to show Mom how much you appreciate her with a Jenny Lynn's floral creation for Mother's Day. Skip the grocery store flowers and make one quick call. 285-1000. Roses, lilies, beautiful bouquets, and gift baskets designed just for Mom. Call Jenny Lynn's Creations 285-1000.
Free! Who doesn't love free? With Milo's Rewards, you get the member-only treatment that's actually worth it. Enjoy free member gifts you'll love. And once you reach Silver Key status, you can get free standard shipping. Because Lowe's knows nothing feels better than free. Learn more about our new loyalty program at Lowe's.com/MyLowe'sRewards today. Program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details. Member gifts may be subject to additional terms and restrictions. See Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details. Subject to change.
Okay, raise your hand if you want to make your life a little bit easier. Great. Now raise your other hand if you like to be comfortable. Perfect. Now that you have both hands raised, imagine putting on your shoes. And that, folks, right there is your answer to an easier, more comfortable life. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. This is footwear you don't need your hands to put on. They can be raised in the air, and you can just step it and go. Why don't you experience what people can't stop talking about? Life-changing Skechers Slip-ins. Get your Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
The Health and Wealth Show. The Health and Wealth Show. The show so nice, we said it twice. Weekday evenings at 6 on News Talk 93.1 WACV. The Health.
Make it up, son. Joke's over, hey?
Hi there, I'm Madeline Cannon with Alabama Home Mortgage. Getting pre-approved is the first step towards home ownership. People are often scared or nervous about taking that first step, but I'll tell you, it's nothing to be scared of. At Alabama Home Mortgage, we will take the first step and every step along the way with you. Call us at 567-4223. We will gather the information needed to tell you exactly what you qualify for. After a call to Alabama Home Mortgage, you will know what price point to shop for, what down payment is required, if any, and what your monthly mortgage payment will look like. We take all the guessing out of it. Then, when you find the house you want to make your home, you are ready to make an offer. Along with your offer, you will submit your Alabama Home Mortgage pre-approval letter. This shows sellers that you've already taken the steps necessary to ensure that you qualify to purchase their home. Wait no longer. It's time to take that first step together. Call me at 567-4223 or start the process online at myalabamahomemortgage.com.
That's Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
Lewis at the Capital Oyster Bar, and I just want to tell you, if you're in business or got an event coming up and want to do some advertising, wisely spent dollars are spent down here at Blue Water Broadcasting. All the guys are nice, easy to work with, and I see results, I guarantee you.
Our advertisers are our biggest advocates. Call us to find out how radio can increase your bottom line. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From a little fender bender to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For over 35 years, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. It's pretty early for this kind of warmth with the month of May just beginning, but the heat is locked in at least through the weekend, if not longer. Today, with lots of sunshine, almost summer-like with a high temperature near 90. Rain chances, 10%. Tomorrow's high flirting with 90 again. Widely scattered random showers and storms possible tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday, but very low-end rain chances with 60s at night and great weather on the coast with highs near 80. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank has digital banking solutions to help you keep up. Check balances, pay bills, and much more. Learn more at cbsbank.com. Charges and fees may apply from your cellular service provider. Contact your service provider for information. Member FDIC.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm Joey. We also have Eddie Bader here in the studio. How you doing, Eddie?
Pretty good, man. Had a good day. Had a
Yeah?
little closing action this morning. Hannah and I are over there cutting commercials, so we're having a good day.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
We also
It
have
is.
Byron Shee here in the studio. How you doing, Byron?
Doing well, man. Thank you.
Yeah, life's all right.
I like his shoe choice, by the way.
I
I was
can't
going to wear
see
mine
your
today,
shoes.
but all my shorts were dirty. So I feel very good that someone else is casual with their foot attire.
Unless I have to be somewhere formal, flip-flops. From now until about Thanksgiving.
Yeah, the more I do those sauna workouts, I like wearing flip-flops.
Oh, yeah. You let them feet breathe, man.
Exactly. Yeah. It's the heat around here.
Yeah.
Like, it's only just begun,
That's
ladies
the thing,
and gentlemen.
man. Yesterday I was out, it was like 10 in the morning. I go, man, it's hot. And then,
Real
like I said,
hot.
I come in here and I told you, and you're like, Eddie, we ain't even in the summer yet. It's fixing to get miserable.
The dog days of spring.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, shifting gears here to more the state, because, the Trump Veep stakes, that conversation will continue for many days here into the future. And I think there are a lot of great fits. Honestly, I think Trump can make most folks work. People will accept whoever he puts up there for the most part. But, yesterday we were talking about it. I mentioned this with Jeff Poore, that, at least at Alabama's universities, we're not seeing all this nonsense about all these protests and
Well, you must not have saw the Tiki Talk last night.
I spoke too soon.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the funny thing, though, that not the national site picked this up. Both sides at the University of Alabama campus, at first they started doing like competing chants, like "Death to Israel"
Right.
and like "You're an anti-Semite Nazi" or whatever they were yelling at each other. And eventually both sides of the crowd started chanting, "USA, F Joe Biden, USA, F Joe Biden, USA, F Joe Biden." And they weren't using the harsh letter, the abbreviation.
No, they were not.
And so that is amazing.
I think that's great that Joe Biden was able to bring those folks together.
Well, it's a perfect example of the trouble Biden's in now. To where you've got a bunch of folks who have been saying for years, "Let's go, Brandon."
Yeah.
And a lot of folks now going, well, we don't like their reasons for it, but they're saying, "Let's go, Brandon."
What campus was that?
The University of Alabama.
Smart kids. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
I'll give a roll tide for that. And a War Eagle. Where are you at, Auburn?
I saw the things last night on TikTok, and I thought, oh, they're fixing to fight. I mean, this is Alabama.
Oh, right.
And then all of a sudden, I was like, wait a minute, that one chant? They're both chanting one chant? Then you kind of turn it up a little bit, and you realize, oh, I'll start chanting that too.
The only way you actually get a fight going is somebody puts a Palestinian flag on Coach Saban's statue.
Ooh, that better not happen.
Serious question. I know how unorganized I was in college. Who's organizing these kids?
Good question, my friend.
There's a lot of speculation about that. It might be the same people that put all those pallets of bricks out
Yep, that's
during
where my
the
money's
George
at.
Floyd summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe some of the folks who were hanging around D.C. early January.
Right.
Maybe some of those.
Yeah, maybe some of those folks.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's so astroturfed. And again, what I was talking with Jeff Poore yesterday is that I often see protest as sort of a cheap copy of the 60s. And nobody's really ever been able to recreate that magic. But that's the formula. And so it's still somewhat effective. For instance, all the George Floyd riots are effective in getting a message across and scaring the crap out of people. But did it accomplish the same grand political ends? No, not by any means. And so to me, this is less an actual event and more a media event.
Oh, this is propaganda. I mean,
Straight up.
This is rallying folks up for November.
Exactly right.
There are no there are no coincidence, in this sort of arena.
And then there are folks saying ceasefire now from the pro-Palestinian side. Well, there's a ceasefire on the table. Do we think Hamas is going to actually take it?
No.
Probably not.
No.
Probably not. Pro-Israel counter-protesters start chanting USA, USA when the pro-Palestine group largely disperses. So, yeah, a lot of back and forth. And, I mean, what else can you say other than you can go to Twitter and look at what everybody's put up. But there's one banner here I'm seeing. I can see a Palestinian flag, and then it's a white banner, of course, here in Alabama, white banner. And it's got in red letters, "Tied against genocide."
Tied against genocide.
Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Wonder who wrote that.
Let's go to Harris. Hey, Harris, how you doing?
Hey, fellas, how y'all today?
Pretty good.
Hey, I saw that too of the students in Tuscaloosa, and kind of made me think. Who do you think the university police were there guarding?
I don't know if they were guarding anybody. Maybe it was just a perimeter, kind of be like, hey, everybody stay in your corner.
Buildings, probably more.
Yeah.
Or could they possibly have been there to keep the protesters from getting their ass whipped?
Honestly, kind of what I thought. Because they were a little bit closer to one side than they were the other.
Yeah.
That's fair.
You know, and
I mean,
I
we're in
thought that was
Alabama,
funny.
after all.
If I
That's
rem-
right.
It
if
was
I-
funny.
If I
Thank-
remember
thank you, Harris.
correctly from my days there, there was, protests and everything around the war in Iraq and all that sort of stuff. And they actually had a free speech zone designated that you could have your protest, but it had to be right there. And I'm curious if that's still kind of in place or if
It
it's
looks
gonna
like it.
spread over.
Seemed like it.
No, it looks like this is one of those more orderly protests.
Yeah.
This isn't like they just commandeered a building and
Well,
started
probably
demanding lunch.
The reason it's organized is they don't want to get their ass kicked. So they call the cops first.
This is
and said,
new
hey,
college coming over.
This is what I mean by how everything's become this cheap copy. It's the point I made about the State of the Union and Senator Britt's response is say it's all this scripted stuff we've seen over and over again. To where, there might have been some real rowdy protests in the 60s, like taking over buildings. These folks in Columbia take over the building and then they demand lunch from the administration. It's like some revolutionaries. Like,
Well, they
give
were
me a
hungry,
break.
Joey.
Revolutionaries can't be soft. I mean, come on.
Right.
They needed some snacks and Capri Suns.
Right, you got to have the spirit, the iron will of a Che Guevara and want to nuke the United States. That's revolutionary right there.
But I don't think these people can think that far in advance.
Let's go to Patrick. Hey, Patrick, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing today?
Pretty good.
I was just wondering if you got, not to digress the show a little bit here, but did you guys see that, the Libertarian Party National Convention is in about 3 weeks, and we sent invitations to Joe Biden, Donald Trump, and RFK, and Donald Trump himself accepted, and he'll be addressing the Libertarian Party at our convention.
I saw a little
that
bit
this
of that,
morning.
and I was wondering, is this a joke or what? So explain the backstory a little more, Patrick.
Please.
Okay, so essentially, obviously, it's hard for us to get dialogue or debates or anything with a lot of the mainstream candidates. And so I think that we initially were trying to request a debate with these attempts at contacting them, but ultimately Donald Trump did accept, and what we're going to do is have our members vote on kind of their top 10 issues or things they want to see him address, and then our selected presidential candidate will get to kind of pose those questions to him and introduce him, and then allow him to address the members there.
It's like a
so I think
Libertarian Party hosted town hall with Trump. That's fascinating.
Very impressive.
I love it. I think you're going to see Trump probably at his finest in
no doubt.
that type setting.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a good idea to get some coverage and a lot of eyeballs on it, and it'll be good to just get Trump saying good things about libertarians, I think.
Well, and knowing libertarians, they're amazing critics. So I think you're going to get some really good questions coming Trump's way.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be the top 10 that we vote on, and so I'm excited about it.
Cool.
And I'm excited to see our presidential candidate maybe get to have a little bit of dialogue with him potentially. So I think it'll be really good. I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts on it.
One suggestion or maybe a favor. The members get 10 questions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Could we have the public voting in some way where the public would get a question that could be asked?
No, this is a convention thing. You got to be part of the party. You got to be a member.
Part of the party.
You're a part of the body, right?
No, I'm not. I'm not a card carrying. I'm friendly with them.
You're a small L.
Yes,
Okay.
or I'm more an A, which is an anarchist and ass. I'm just like I don't believe anything anymore.
Let's go with the small L.
Your simulation's broken.
Yes, more than my simulation.
It will be open to the public, though, so the public will be there. I'm sure there will be some MAGA people there. I think that'll probably be the most interesting part, is kind of seeing, because it is open to the public, how many, non-libertarians we get in there, and maybe expose those people to our ideas as well.
And real quick, Patrick, before you go, not to give away the game, but who do you think are who are the top candidates that might get the presidential nomination for the Libertarian Party?
So if you just want my raw three, but it's really two. So Michael Rectenwald, who you had on your show,
yep,
Mike Termott, who you also had on your show, and then Chase Oliver out of Georgia, are the top three. And if you're asking me, my personal opinion, it's really between Michael Rectenwald and Chase Oliver, with Mike Termott playing Kingmaker.
Okay, fascinating.
Who was the guy from Georgia?
Chase Oliver. He made it into the Senate debates there, and that's why it ended up a runoff with Walker and Warnock. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you guys, man. You guys have a good day.
Are you too bad?
Yeah, Chase ran a good enough campaign where he had a fairly good, single-digit showing, but enough to throw it into a runoff.
Man, if we can get, 3.5 to get them on the debate stage?
Oh,
is
that'd
that,
be
is that
fantastic.
the number?
Well, I don't think the debate commission's come up with it yet. I bet an agreement hasn't been struck yet.
Well, I thought it was already predetermined. All right.
They changed the rules last time. This is why it's so up in the air.
They changed the rules.
Yeah, a lot of
Shocking.
fronts they
Shocking.
changed the rules. 272-9228. Before we keep going with some of these phone calls, as part of the program, brought to you by Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. And there at the Goodson Group, Bo and his team are ready to help you, whether you're looking to buy or sell here in the Montgomery and surrounding areas. And Bo's been doing this for nearly 50 years now, folks. 4+ decades there working in the River Region real estate market. So if you're looking to buy or sell, I can't recommend anybody better than Bo Goodson. But it could be you want to also rent out your home. Well, they have a great management service at a very reasonable fee. And in this market, especially with all the turnover with the military base, rental investments are a great idea, but it can be a pain in the butt to manage it yourself. Why not, for a reasonable fee, have the Goodson Group do it for you? And then the crown jewel there at the Goodson Group is the Bo Goodson Real Estate School, one of the most highly acclaimed programs of that type here in the state because of, well, all the success. I mean, that's the ultimate proof. There have been so many folks that have graduated from Bo Goodson's Real Estate School and hit the ground running with success, whether as more knowledgeable private players or as fully licensed agents. It's a great way to get licensed as to be a real estate agent. So check them out today. You can always go to thegoodsongroup.com or give them a call at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. Great sponsor here of News and Views in the afternoon. Let's go to Joey from Prattville. Hello, Joey.
Gentlemen, how are y'all doing today?
Doing all right.
Well, thank you.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Hey, just curious question, and it kind of touches on a couple, well, all one topic but different scenarios. When do presidential candidates, like we're down to Biden and Trump. At what point now Biden, of course, is in, Kamala being the VP, but like at what point timeline would normally the opposing candidate introduce who their mate is? And I ask this for a couple of reasons. One, we know that all the court stuff going on with Trump is just to keep him distracted. He can't get out. He can't campaign. This, that, and the other.
Right.
Well, if he goes ahead and names his VP, and they have a meeting, say every Monday morning, then they sit there and they talk, and then that VP runs around and does all the talking. You see, and that is your campaign.
Man, that would lead me more to somebody like a Vivek, who is an amazing communicator.
Mm-hmm.
And I totally agree 100%. 100%. I would take Vivek over Trump, to be honest. A lot of people say Vivek would never play that second role because he's been a business owner. He's always been a leader. No, I actually think he would because he knows Trump only has one term, and that gives him 4 to learn the program. I think he would go for it. But why not go ahead and name him?
Yeah, and do you have a good answer to this, Byron? What's usually the time frame? Obviously before the convention.
I want to say it's maybe a week or 2 at the most. I mean, they pretty much hold the cards close to the vest. They don't want the other side having any more of an opportunity to tear that person down. They want it to be fairly flawless whenever they take the stage.
And the Republican convention is July the 15th.
Yeah, so...
But is that a requirement?
No.
Trump don't follow rules.
He could announce tomorrow if he wanted to.
I mean, I believe there's been numerous cases where it's actually happened after the convention.
Okay, yeah, it's not a set rule is the point.
I mean, could somebody get in his ear? I mean, let's go ahead and let's blow it down. Let's let them know what to deal with.
Well, that's the billion-dollar question. There are a lot of folks in Trump's ear, man, that vying for that attention. And...
I mean, let's go ahead and nail it down. I mean, if they're going to throw him through court and we can't hear him speak, I guarantee you the Bidens will actually collude with New York, and they'll set up a debate and set a freaking court date for the same day.
Yep. Well, I got to run, Joey. Appreciate the call, man. Good one. 272-9228. Quick break here, folks. Come back to Red Top and others after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Honey, did you call an electrician to put in that new bathroom outlet?
No, I thought I'd just get Cousin Ray.
But he's not a real electrician.
Oh, Ray's handy. He can do anything.
Being handy and being an electrician are two different things. Electricity is complicated and potentially dangerous. Each year there are thousands of home fires caused by faulty wiring. You need an expert. To wear the Crosby Electric uniform, you have to undergo background checks, drug testing, continuing education, and rigorous safety training. When you need electrical work, or if you just like someone to assess your home for safety, call the experts at Crosby Electric.
So, how about that nice outlet Ray installed in the bathroom?
Do you think it's safe?
It's fine. See, when I plug in my electric razor, it...
Now the lights are out. I am not sleeping a wink until you get Crosby Electric out here.
Don't take chances with electricity. Call the experts at Crosby Electric, 272-2085, or visit us at crosbyelectric.com.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. We got a little time here for Red Top. Hey, Red Top, how you doing?
Good. Yes, and I did hear that. Surprised me when they said Donald Trump's going to speak at the Libertarian Convention. You think he's going to be the only one of the three?
Yes. Well, RFK Jr. might take him up.
Why
on
would
it.
he not? Be
Right.
there?
I think he'll accept the invite. Yeah.
I think he's going to do very well. I saw a good portion of both his speeches yesterday because Newsmax now is carrying every campaign speech of Donald Trump.
Okay.
And, I don't know if you saw any clips from yesterday, did you, Joey?
A few, not a lot, but a few.
This man's energy, amongst everything he's going through, I don't see any drain at all. And he's so damn sharp, and he can remember so much and cover so much material. His first speech in Michigan, what was it? Minnesota was 90 minutes.
Yeah. Well, here, this was one from Wisconsin. I think this was my favorite short clip of the entire thing. Very short clip, folks.
Shannon, we'll get out and we're going to go there during, you get ready for me. Maybe you can convince me with that vegan food, okay? You get a good, healthy vegan food.
That's actually a win.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
Vegan.
For a man that sells steak, that's pretty slick, isn't it,
I
guys?
agree.
There's never a shortage of quick wit. That's why there ain't nobody ever gonna catch him. And I wouldn't announce the vice presidential candidate until as late as possible.
I agree with that.
Yeah, because they're going to get beat up big time. That's why Kristi Noem got it so hard.
Yeah. And right now, this Kristi Noem seems like a dumbass. And right now, I agree with you and the last guy. Vivek seems the only one that's got any damn brain.
And probably means it won't happen. But I appreciate it, Red Top.
That's more likely to happen than you think.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. Go look at who his campaign manager is.
Okay. All right. I didn't know there was a common
I was told that there
family
was
tree there.
A blessing given.
Is that right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and Trump was incredibly gracious with them. Like,
Yeah.
he never said a nasty word about Vivek. Vivek, of course, never said a nasty thing about him. There was that one moment at the end where Vivek was trying to get votes in Iowa, where Trump's like, he's saying he wants to be the savior, and he's not. And
Yeah, but that was probably like hey, Mr. President, I got to do this.
Yeah.
Can I, please? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Get ready for me. Maybe you can convince me with that vegan food, okay? You get a good, healthy vegan food.
We gotta hit this break. Be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. President Biden has defended the right to free speech, but says order must prevail on college campuses where the pro-Palestinian protests are happening. His comments broke days of silence as police cracked down on university encampments erected to show solidarity with Gaza. Both sides of I-95, the East Coast Maine North-South Highway, have been shut down in southwestern Connecticut. It follows an early morning crash involving a passenger car, tractor-trailer truck, and a tanker truck that was carrying 8,500 gallons of gasoline. It caught fire under a bridge overpass. Remarkably, there were no serious injuries. On Wall Street, the Dow had 250 points, the NASDAQ up 194. This is SRN News.
Biden has started tracking Christians like cattle. Yes, you heard it right. He pressured banks to tag transactions for certain keywords. One of them is Holy Bible. It's a horrifying and creepy attack on our religious freedoms. It's made possible by a digital financial system that makes you a sitting duck. But you do have other options. I recommend a physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. I'm Lance Wallnow, a news analyst, a best-selling author, and evangelical leader to people who cherish their financial independence. A precious metals IRA can help you avoid the scrutiny of Biden's anti-Christian bureaucracy while also preserving your retirement savings. To find out more, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word faith to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and see how a gold IRA can help you. Text faith to 989898. There are no strings attached. So text faith to the number 989898 right now and take action to protect your own prosperity.
The Johnny Adams Law Firm. They want you to stay safe on the road. Please don't text and drive. Get to your destination safely. Your family and friends will thank you. From the Johnny Adams Law Firm.
Well, hi, everybody. It's pretty early for this kind of warmth with the month of May just beginning, but the heat is locked in at least through the weekend, if not longer. Today, with lots of sunshine, almost summer-like with a high temperature near 90. Rain chances, 10%. Tomorrow's high flirting with 90 again. Widely scattered random showers and storms possible tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday, but very low-end rain chances with 60s at night and great weather on the coast with highs near 80. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. The Alabama House of Representatives passed legislation Wednesday prohibiting financial institutions from collecting transaction data specific to firearms and ammunition sales. Governor Kay Ivey is expected to sign the bill into law today. A divided Alabama Legislative Committee delayed a vote Wednesday on a proposal that would allow inmates to speak by video conference at their parole hearings. Alabama is just one of 2 states that do not allow an inmate to address the parole board. Montgomery is bringing back its triathlon this weekend. The Capital of Dreams triathlon hasn't been held since 2019 because of the COVID pandemic. The race involves swimming, biking, and running through historic downtown Montgomery. It all begins Saturday when racers will dive off the Harriet II riverboat for a swim in the Alabama River. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. an equal housing lender.
The Harriet 2 Riverboat offers celebrations for specialty events like Cinco de Mayo coming May 5th. It's a cruise filled with dancing, live entertainment, tacos, nachos, margaritas, and more. It'll be a night filled with live music and more. The Mother's Day cruise coming May 12th is a treat like no other, and your mom will love it with a dinner made just for her. There's more fun and excitement each weekend all spring and summer with a variety of cruises up the Alabama on the Harriet 2. Book your cruise today on the Harriet 2 at funinmontgomery.com.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Welcome back. News and views in the afternoon. Enough of all that silly, nasty political talk. Because we got a great event here in Montgomery. And joining me to talk about it, a familiar face, we have Stephanie Jones with the Chamber, the Alabama Department of Commerce. Excuse me. How you doing, Stephanie?
I'm doing great. It's been a day today. We've been celebrating the life of my Uncle Theo today from Chris's Hot Dogs, and beautiful funeral service today. The Senate, the Alabama State Senate, honored him on the floor this morning as well as soon as they gavelled in. So a long, emotional, but very happy and celebratory day.
Well, and the man was an institution. It's not just the institution he represented, he himself. Well, that's beautiful to hear.
That's
really
right.
is.
Yeah.
And so this Saturday, we're celebrating the 107th anniversary of Chris's famous hot dogs. Now, the anniversary was on the 1st. It was yesterday, right?
That's right, yesterday. Mm-hmm.
So what's going on Saturday?
So Saturday, we are going to, and for many who have been celebrating Chris's over the years, 7 years ago, we did a 100th anniversary celebration out in the street, out in Dexter Avenue in front of the store. We're gonna just do it all over again. We're gonna have a tent set up out in Dexter Avenue selling hot dogs, and we're gonna have selling cold adult beverages and some non-adult beverages as well. I mean, listen, if you're a grown-up, you have a cold beer with your hot dog. If you're a little kid, you have a cold chocolate milk with your hot dog. That's how we do it at Chris's, and that's how we're going to do it on Saturday.
Well, I know some adults like Eddie here that have the chocolate milk.
Oh, good.
And the beer.
Yeah.
Listen, well, that
I'm not
sounds
afraid
like
to double down.
Oh, that sounds like a recipe for a bad stomach. But you know what? If you've got a better constitution than the rest of us, then go for it, sir.
Well, and so again, 11 to 1.
11 to 1. Yeah, we'll be shutting the streets down. We'll have live music. Maybe you know this guy, Sam Marcel. Maybe you heard of him. Yeah. He's going to come and play music for a couple of hours. Yeah. You know, I mean, he was always a friend of the family as well. I think pretty much anywhere you turn in Montgomery and the surrounding areas, there's somebody that's a friend of the family that wants to celebrate them. But, you know, we were at the funeral today, and Father Paul, the priest at the Greek Orthodox Church, which, by the way, was built by Chris's Hot Dogs founder, Chris Katichis. He was one of the founding members. Father Paul said today that there was nobody as welcoming as Theo. He just had a sense of hospitality. Obviously, for a man in the restaurant business, that's a good attribute to have. But even he opened his home every year during Thanksgiving. Family members, if they had friends who didn't have family around town, that just didn't have anywhere for the holidays, they were always welcome. There was never too large a head count to be at the farm. And, you know, Senator Hatcher this morning, when he recognized Theo on the Senate floor, he talked about one of the great things about Chris's Hot Dogs was, you know, right there in the middle of all the political heat sat Chris's Hot Dogs right there on Dexter Avenue, where everybody could just go and just have a hot dog together. And I said, you know, let me tell you, the legacy of that building goes further back than that, because when Uncle Chris was running that business, and this is something that Theo always took to heart and was very proud of and wanted to continue, that was during right in the middle of the civil rights movement that was happening just down the street, right? On Dexter Avenue. And that was a time in the city's history when many, many businesses, especially food establishments like that, were not serving people of color.
Right.
Or if they did, they just hand it to them out the door, you know. And Uncle Chris said, no, that is not. If you want to come in here and sit down at this counter and have a hot dog and pay me good money for it, you're coming in.
Right.
You know, I don't see any difference in these customers. And Theo did the same thing. And Chris's Hot Dogs over the years has served hot dogs to politicians to famous singers and actors, and also to homeless people on the street when Theo would see them and just want to give them something to eat. And, I got some Chris's t-shirts if you need a clean shirt to put on. So I think that this Saturday, it is a great time for the community to come out and celebrate not just 107 years of an institution like Chris's Hot Dog, but the lovely institution that was Theo and his father, Chris.
And folks just need to bring themselves, and nothing else necessarily required.
I mean, maybe a little bit of money for a hot dog, but
yeah, well, there you go.
and and if you see the family, they'll be under the tent serving dogs. Share a memory. Tell them what you loved about Theo. If you knew Uncle Chris, tell him what you loved about Chris. We would love to hear it. Theo's true joy was serving the community, so there's nothing you could do to make the family feel better right now than to share good stories.
Well, I appreciate your time today and telling everybody about this. I know it was kind of set up here real quick, but it's great. It should be a great day on Saturday. Yeah. And we miss anything, Stephanie?
We didn't miss a thing. You just let me ramble and ramble and ramble. I'm coming back.
This is what I do. Anytime.
I will not talk politics with you, though. Just forget it. It's off the table.
Come on.
Come back anytime, then. Anytime you want.
Well,
perfect.
I'm convinced somebody to be an anarchist one of these days. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdit. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get it on the program. Again, the crew we have assembled here today, Eddie Bader, he's man of the phones. Also, Byron Sheehy here helping us out with our facts and figures and our ideas as well.
On the ideas, yes. Facts and figures, maybe not so much.
Dadgum, why did I? We need you here. We need help. All the help we
I'm
can
trying,
get.
man.
So, what's our feeling about this back and forth at the last minute? And they've been doing it in the wee hours of the night. I'm sure plenty conversation behind closed doors. But this big push to finally get gambling done in the state of Alabama. Do we think this is going to actually pass?
Mama wants to throw some dice.
Okay, Ivy. Yeah, miss it.
She wants to throw some dice.
Kay Ivy came out pretty strongly
she's
saying,
pushing
let's get this done. I
but
believe
this is the same
language.
Kay Ivy who asked for a 4% grocery tax reduction and was told to be happy with 2%.
That's fair.
But that was after she raised gas taxes, right?
Right. Which,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Kay would like to get this done, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think
I'm kind of getting more and more doubts.
Because
man.
any change you make, I got a feeling you're going to lose people.
Right, you're losing.
You're trading horses, and at this point, I think all the horses are just tired.
Right, exactly right. And people are just like, well, here's my theory, and it's long been my theory. I was telling you this off air. The equilibrium between the vital interest around gambling in the state is almost perfect, to where the status quo is good enough to where they're willing to hold out for the best possible thing. They're like, yeah, we'll do it next year. And I think even though they got close, that late night vote did get them very close. I don't think we're getting actually across the finish
such
line.
a teaser to people in the state that want gambling.
Mhm.
We got a little bit closer every time. We get a little bit closer. We get a little bit closer.
All right. So, what kind of gambling?
When I say gambling, me personally, I think most people want the lottery, and they want it very specifically. They want the lottery.
We
and
could
they want
add
the
that
money to go to
yesteryear.
education.
Yeah,
right.
And that's the reason they won't pass it. Because
That's
they
exactly
can't tack
right.
Anything else onto it?
That's what just bothers me the most about our leadership. If you want this, if the people want this, I got to get mine, or they ain't getting theirs. And they're holding us hostage, and it infuriates me. But that's not just Alabama leadership. That seems to be the way it all goes, to be honest.
There's more attention in this state, I believe.
Yeah. Well, we've held out for gambling for so long.
Well, the campaign finance. angle.
I didn't even think about that.
Now, here's the full quote from Ivy. My position has remained unchanged, Sugar. It's time for the voters of Alabama to have... She didn't say sugar.
She said roll the bones.
Yeah,
Make it a double.
It's time for the voters of Alabama to have their say. Legislators have had their say all along. Now it's time for the Alabama voters to vote, and let's get this done. Ivy put that out yesterday. I just don't know if she doesn't seem to have the sway. Like, I think she's very well liked, high approval levels.
Right.
As much as we've given her crap, I don't think
her
anybody.
approval levels are amazing.
Oh, I don't dislike her. She's hard to personally dislike.
Right.
But
She's somebody's
I don't
grandma.
think she has also the sway of somebody with a strong bully pulpit as a governor, which is all you really got as a governor in this state.
But if she's got that kind of popularity, couldn't she put some pressure? Couldn't she do some things that would put pressure
She
on
could,
these
or,
lawmakers?
and there is also money that gets controlled through the executive departments. Like, there are ways to twist arms, like road projects and whatnot. But I just don't. I don't think they're scared of her. I'll put it that way.
Who's twisting whose arm?
Right.
That's probably a better question.
My thought would be, if she truly wanted this, and this just goes for any politician, if you truly wanted this, and you know your people do, you could call a news conference right now. And call them all out and say, this is what I want, this is what the people want. Get your lazy lawmaking butts in there and get it done. And I think they could just laugh at her, but I think the pressure would be amplified about tenfold.
Well, what would happen 2 months from now? Say it didn't pass. Say
Okay.
she did that, and everyone, Then
in that case, then we would all know that they like the governor, but she has no power.
Right, but as far as the accountability on the not listening to what the people want,
That's going to change there.
All right.
I mean, I hate saying that, but that's been my thought from the get-go.
Yeah.
Gas tax.
Right.
Politicians are afraid of one thing: losing their reelection.
Losing.
I thought it was the photos with that goat.
Nah, they can probably.
They can buy their way.
And that's not all of them.
I mean, that was AI.
That's right. Oh man,
That was AI.
Oh, no.
That wasn't me.
No,
I would never do that to a barnyard animal.
Somebody's out to get me, man.
Right, exactly. 272-9228. 272-9228. Before we go to the phones, this part of the program brought to you by James Cole and Cole Plumbing. And they're at Cole Plumbing. They can help you with all of your plumbing needs, especially if you have a big leak. What's beautiful about Cole Plumbing is they have this proprietary pipelining technology that allows them with minimal discomfort to you in your home to get in there and solve the problem without having to tear out a bunch of drywall or dig up a huge hole in your yard. No, again, precision expertise, they can get the job done. They can also help you with clogged drains, low water pressure, tree root invasion, even a gas line leak. Could be, though, you just want to upgrade, say to maybe a tankless water heater system or a fancy toilet like a Japanese toilet or bidet or something like that.
Taller.
What?
Maybe you just want a taller toilet.
Oh, yeah,
Could be something simple.
for the olds.
That's right, for the olds. Like me, whose knees pop when they sit on the toilet. Yeah.
You shouldn't have told me that. So if you want a taller toilet like Eddie Bader, Cole Plumbing is the place to go, folks. They really are doing fantastic things. You can always go to coleplumbing.com or give them a call at 279-8919. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl,
call on Cole, Joey.
Let's go to Eric the dog, who was great to see him last night.
It
Hey,
was
Eric.
good to see Eric. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing all right.
Hey, did you see those two Puerto Rican chicks that came in asking about Joey? Isabella
no,
and...
I told you no more beer. I told you when I left, no more beers.
I didn't have them. They came, even Jonathan, your buddy Jonathan, I think he saw them. And I know...
Oh.
Well, and Kilroy saw him,
Kilroy
too.
saw him for sure.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah.
Oh.
I had to leave her. I had to hand out my mom's scholarship this morning. You're telling me the one night I go home early.
You went home too early.
Wait. Were these like good-looking Puerto Rican chicks or like more snaggletooth?
They were.
Well, they don't really make bad-looking Puerto
Yeah, they
Rican
really
chicks.
don't, Joey. I hadn't really seen a bad-looking Puerto Rican chick. Yeah.
Well, y'all can keep disagreeing with me about AOC.
Okay, that's
there goes your theory.
I haven't disagreed with you.
I think she's objectively attractive. All these other folks.
100%.
Thank you. This is a man right here. Knows the
100%.
truth.
But when she opens her
All
mouth...
I'm saying is people are going to frown if you put a shot collar on her to keep her from talking. That's all I'm saying.
What is this? Like you're saying two Puerto Rican chicks walked in.
What was their other name? Isabella and somebody. But
Where
they were
was
looking
my
for the
invitation?
Joey.
Where'd y'all go?
Baumhours.
Okay.
They were looking for the Joey.
For what?
They were trying to get
I
the
don't know.
pouch.
Maybe
The
they were
Joey.
looking for a green card. I don't know. They were looking for the
That's
Joey.
just racist.
Puerto
It's just
Ricans don't need
racist.
green cards, I'm just saying.
I just assumed they were
Not
Puerto
racist.
Rican.
Yeah, geographicist.
Yeah, Eric, did you hear the show earlier? And having to present my mom's scholarship, I didn't want to cry. And I was feeling emotional so I'm like, okay, I have to make jokes so I don't tear up. And I said, folks, I talk for a living, but I don't usually see people when I talk, but it's great to see y'all. It's a great change because usually all I see is my middle-aged fat co-host, Eddie. But I just found out that he weighs less than me, so...
Yes, once again, Joey, you are the fat man in
I
the
just
studio.
wanted to say my fat co-host, Eddie.
I appreciate you.
It was the whole reason for that whole wind-up.
I'm sorry if I seem a little emotional. Last time I was here, my mom was teaching sex ed.
Ah, true, Joey. True. Let's not forget that, Joey.
Mm-hmm. No, and I was reminded that she also told us to check for testicular cancer.
Mm-hmm. That's had to be a great moment in your life.
I blacked that one out. I didn't remember that.
Maybe
That
that
brings
explains
Jack
your
Campbell to
singleness.
mind.
Yeah, it's hard to make you blush, realize why now.
Yeah.
Now it's come full circle.
Yeah.
Jack Campbell
Can't wait till you
said,
see my
"What are you
internet
doing there? What are you doing? Get somebody else a chance."
Right. I appreciate it, Eric.
I'll see you, dog.
I didn't.
Let's go to Randall, who was also there last night.
Yes, he was. Man, it was good to see Randall.
What's up, fellas?
How you doing,
Randall,
brother?
you still mad at me, man?
Huh?
You still mad at me? You took me to task on
If your
Tuesday.
skin ain't no thick, if your skin ain't no thicker than that, you gotta get off the radio.
Man.
You ain't got no future.
I remember when once upon a time you, me, Jack, and Baron, we were discussing things long time ago. I thought we were a little bit cooler than that.
It seems somebody's got in your pocket.
Oh,
whoa,
Randall.
Randall.
Wow, Randall.
Joey, man, on this gambling stuff, y'all. Those creeps got us by the long hair, and I ain't talking. They finna drag Alabama down the road. If y'all noticed Tuesday, what happened? Why they put them in gear? Eric Garland put out a thing. See what happened is they found out that since the federal government, what happened with the marijuana? Why they put the brakes on? If they go through with this medical stuff, then the Creek Indians can open up coffee shops and let you come and smoke weed, sell it legally.
Could
you
anyway.
smoke it there. Federal government, no. But after Tuesday, Eric Garland put out a thing saying that he was going to decriminalize it. If the federal government decriminalizes it, then they can. Then they can automatically. They don't have to worry about the state. So the state.
Well, but they're reclassifies it, I think, as Schedule 3 for medical use.
Exactly, but that gives the Indians to do what they want. So now the Indians got us in a predicament. It's either weed or gambling. Which one are they going to choose? We're going to choose. We want to make money off of. They're not going to let us have both. They got us where they want us. So if we do the weed, we don't go full. Everybody smoking weed. We just do medical. That means they're going to do. You come up here and smoke, and they're going to take everybody. They're going to take all the gambling business. Ain't nobody. I mean, that's where everybody's gonna go. I mean, they're gonna go up there. They can smoke and get by with the most crowd, and so they got us. They got us by the hair. They ain't gonna scap us. They're gonna drag us up down the interstate. They're gonna make us widen it all the way to all their little OWEI waterfalls and slip and slides and all that good stuff. I mean, we in trouble, fellas. I mean, we have put ourselves in a position that.
Well, I wouldn't argue that the PCI is powerful. Yeah.
So, but when you was talking about earlier about y'all got into the Bible a little bit. Let's don't go down the road.
Okay.
I love y'all, man.
Love you,
I
brother.
just want to throw that in about that. I forgot why I was calling. I don't think it was back on. But
Did you see those
anyway.
girls looking for Joey last night, Randall?
I didn't, man.
You guys leave too early.
I know it. I'm sorry. I love y'all. It's just I don't know, man. Too much movement going. It's way too much going on, man.
There was a lot going on. There was a lot going on.
Honestly, I just don't believe this because usually the person looking for Joey is like some 50-something-year-old man. Hey, man, I listen to your show all the time, which I love. I love meeting fans.
There were some older women that mentioned your name.
I met
but
some of them.
I don't. Yeah. I don't think they had the same interest as Isabella.
Yeah, they got, but that was probably. Well, they probably got that Alexis thing set. You know what I mean? This is the college Joy. You know what I'm saying? Like they probably had to turn their phones off, boy. So nobody's name it went just automatically start dialing his phone. So man, I Joy. I'm so glad you got people tracking you. But that's scary in a way. But in a way, it's a good thing. But that just means, you know what I mean? A couple of years from now, you're gonna have to hire security. Hey,
sure.
I'm right here, baby. Yeah.
There you go. I know a guy.
And I'm making exclusively hot women who have very good training with firearms.
I like the way you're thinking.
Appreciate it, Randall.
I'll be the first stop. So they had to go through me first.
There you go.
Wasn't there a Robert Palmer video in the 80s?
Yeah.
Yes, there was.
A series of videos,
Yeah.
didn't he?
Yeah, actually, you're right.
Like Addicted to Love. Didn't he? No, who did Love
Didn't
Stinks?
Mean
That's
to
Jay
Turn You
Giles,
On,
man.
too, was another one.
Yeah, Robert Palmer.
He had a specific ladies in those videos. They all looked alike till the camera kind of come in on them, but they all dressed alike, had the same hair. Very attractive.
And I believe carrying handguns or military guns.
Right.
I believe they were.
Assault
Right.
rifles.
I knew yeah.
Let's go to
I liked it.
T-Spear. Hey, T-Spear.
Good afternoon. And I wish I had been there last night to at least congratulate Greg on a change of life that has been better for all of us. And been part of it. But that's not why I called today. I called today to encourage people to not look at the Christy Nose situation as she had to put down a puppy or a pet. Farm animals are not necessarily pets. I acquired a cattle-bred Australian Shepherd when I lived in South Florida that killed a rat that was bigger than he was by the time he was 8 weeks old. And literally nobody else could be around him other than my son, me, and my ex-husband. And he barely tolerated my ex-husband. This dog, to take him to the vet, you had to have a muscle on him. You had to have a muscle on him and a very good leash. This dog would eat you alive if he got the opportunity, and he didn't care what race you were. He'd kill everybody. Needless to say, the only reason West Texas was because he was a cattle-bred ranch dog, and a rancher saw him at the vet and said, if you...
T-Spear, you're cutting out. I don't know. And this has happened in the last few days. I think there's something going on with your phone.
On your end, yeah. It keeps cutting in and out, in and out.
You know, needless to say, the only reason I didn't have to put my dog down was because I had a rescuer that wanted it. Otherwise, I would have had to do the same thing that Christine Owen did. I just wouldn't have put it in a book.
Right. Yeah, amen. And I think you're making where I'm at on this thing. I got to run, T-Spirit. I appreciate the call. I really do.
Thank you, T-Spirit.
And before we hit this break, this is news that broke earlier today, this morning. Meta building an $800 million Montgomery-based data center, creating 100 jobs.
Meta. Facebook.
Yeah, like Meta, man.
You know, that's the thing. They changed the name. I don't know how long ago it was. When it just doesn't flow. It doesn't.
Meta? You don't like it?
Mm-mm. It sounds very like him, very lizard.
Like Google going to Alphabet?
Yeah.
Keep going on the 800 what?
$800
million. Tech conglomerate Meta will build an $800 million, 715,000 square foot data center.
Here we go. All right,
100 jobs.
Get ready, because they are about to pop up everywhere. Now, I've been involved in this in the past.
What type of data centers are they?
It doesn't matter.
Is that right?
Look at how much all the natural resources, energy, water for cooling, all that sort of stuff. I think it was Loudoun in Virginia, 70% of the world's internet traffic flows through a singular county in Virginia. Most of that's for defense, but given where we are in Alabama with our military complex or industry here, we're going to have a couple of these. So coming soon to a rural county near you.
Well, and this will be on Interstate 65 right across from Hyundai.
Yeah, across from the Hyundai.
Governor Ivey, announced this at Montgomery Whitewater today, this morning. And so site is expected to be cleared for construction, expected to be completed by the end of 2026. More than 1,000 construction workers are expected to be on site at the peak of construction. Yeah, for how long?
Byron, this seems to wrinkled you a little bit.
A little bit. So in a previous life, some of these data centers were being placed on hallowed ground.
Really?
Yeah. And it didn't matter because they needed the facilities to operate.
Oh,
so
interesting.
Yeah. So whenever we start talking about corporatists and them giving two rips about what happens here in this state, yeah, you're going to see the commercials about how Karen got this job that gives her health insurance, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
They're gonna do what they want to our state.
That's something I've often worried about. We talk about Alabama and all the natural resources it has. It's basically the Amazon of the United States as I see it. But wait till the rich corporate interests come in here and rape this land. That is so what I worry about.
Canary in the coal mine, folks.
Yeah.
Right there.
That might be it.
They're also claiming the facility will be LEED, LEED Gold certified by the U.S. Green Building Council, be supported by 100% renewable energy and reach net zero emissions.
This is, all right, so solar. Solar.
There we go.
You got to have so much solar in this.
Well, same with water. They'll recoup water, much like Hyundai does, so they can say that it's environmentally friendly. But
well, I just wanted to bring that to folks' attention because
let's go to 100 jobs, man. 800 million for 100 jobs.
Right?
That sounds like a pretty good deal.
Well, it looks like all those side jobs, man.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna keep an eye on this.
I'm just trying to share good news, and you're raining all over the
news
corporate parade.
This is not good news.
That's 100 jobs.
Good.
800 million.
Mister, this fool doesn't know.
They don't want people to be employed.
No, he might be onto something. He's a wise fellow.
I got a feeling he's very much onto something. It's honestly one of my biggest fears. Alabama has so many natural resources. All it's going to take is somebody to start tapping into it.
And we have a port and a bay and
beautiful river.
Go look and see. I mean, it would be logistically it would be hard, but look at who's actually dropped cables from different continents to the United States.
Is that right?
It's corporations. It's not the government doing it.
Right.
And to me,
I never thought about it like that.
That should tell you which way things are going. Whenever the corporations are determining the best way for state governments to proceed
and to operate.
Yeah. and what's best for their infrastructure needs.
That's a very good point.
272-9228. Before we hit this break, this part of the program, in fact, this entire hour brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And there at Alabama Home Mortgage, Kim Williams and her team are ready to help you with whether you're looking to buy. I know the economy's crazy. Interest rates, it's always up in the air these days, it seems like. But you can't make a decision about buying a home, your living arrangement, just based on national headlines.
No.
You got to look at your own situation.
If that's the case, no one would ever buy a home.
Right. And that's why you also need to deal with local trusted folks.
Very much.
As we talked about, there are a lot of places that can get you pre-approval, but some are better than others.
Some are a lot better than others.
Like Alabama Home Mortgage is a lot better than others.
Pretty much gold standard.
So when somebody selling sees you got pre-approved by Alabama Home Mortgage, they know you're good for it. Like
Exactly
this is a
right.
very
They know that
sound evaluation.
Alabama Home Mortgage has done their due diligence, and they are backing you.
There you go. And then they can walk with you all the way to closing day. So things like appraisals or inspections, they can walk you through all of that. And so there won't be any surprises on closing day either. And then, of course, they can help you with a great refinance deal. So maybe you're under a mountain of credit card debt or any sort of debt that you need to get off your back or at least consolidate. If you have equity built up in your home, it's a great idea. And if you're a veteran, whether you're buying or refining, that's the best game in town. And Alabama Home Mortgage specializes in that. They know the latest with the VA home loan programs. It can help you veterans take advantage of these benefits, and they're incredible benefits that you earn through your service.
That's right.
So call them today. That number, 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies like Kim and Madeline. Prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
This is former Alabama Supreme Court Justice Glenn Murdoch. Alabama is a great place to live and work and raise our families because Alabamians are a good people of faith and traditional values. But a huge gambling bill in Montgomery would change our culture forever. Neon-light casinos bringing more crime to our big cities and small towns, highly addictive cell phone betting, and the state selling the lie of lottery riches to the poor and most vulnerable. With all that's wrong in the world, this is no time to give up on our traditional values in Alabama. Call and ask your senator to be the leader you elected them to be. To stand strong and vote no on gambling and keep the Alabama we know and love. Thank you.
Call your senator at 334-261-0800, 334-261-0800, 334-261-0800. Paid for by Alabama Eagle Forum, Box 130757, Birmingham.
Now you can add the power of digital advertising to the #1 reach of radio. Let Blue Water's 20 years of local advertising and marketing success show you how. Grow your business with a complete suite of digital solutions, combined with the reach of the most listened to radio group in the river region. Call us or go to BlueWaterBroadcasting.com to find out how we can increase your return on investment. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by H&H Carpets, where you will find a complete line of Mohawk carpet with exceptionally clean, smart strand fiber. It's always available and ready to be installed. H&H Carpets, across from Walmart on the Atlanta Highway.
Rich Thomas weather.
Well, hi, everybody. It's pretty early for this kind of warmth with the month of May just beginning, but the heat is locked in at least through the weekend, if not longer. Today, with lots of sunshine, almost summer-like with a high temperature near 90. Rain chances, 10%. Tomorrow's high flirting with 90 again. Widely scattered random showers and storms possible tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday, but very low-end rain chances with 60s at night and great weather on the coast with highs near 80. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Web Bobo with Capital Tractor. Check out our special spring savings on Kubota zero-turn mowers, like the Kubota Z411. At 10 miles an hour, it makes cutting around bushes, beds, and trees a breeze. Powering Alabama. Capital Tractor, Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon. I'm Joey, and I'm not alone. Both Eddie Bader and Byron Sheehy here in the house. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the program. And based on what we were just talking about, this one bill, the TikTok bill, that all sorts of folks, Republicans including some Alabama Republicans, are all for it, that if your company has a foreign interest, and then I think it's up to the president, it's at the president's discretion, they can essentially force you to sell that foreign interest, or they can essentially ban you in the United States.
Right.
And as soon as I saw this, I'm like, this is not about China and TikTok.
Right.
This is about Elon Musk and X. And maybe Elon's all buttoned up to where they can't get him with this law. But I think we're dealing with some sociopaths up there who are very, very smart at what they do. I think this has long been about getting their hooks into the internet. The same thing with, all these bills being proposed to protect kids. Now, I think the effects of social media, especially on children, have been horrendous, and it's been shown pretty well. That said, is the solution then to have a national bill that essentially says if you're under 13, you can't be on social media? Why is that a bad idea, Joey? It's like, well, how do you enforce that? You have to regulate the entire adult population to essentially certify your ID online.
And honestly, it's going to be
back to Nikki Haley.
It would be one of those bills that it would go through, and 99% of the base would continue to do what they're doing.
I mean, is it that like slapping parental warning labels on records essentially?
How well that work?
And the ones with the label got sold more.
Yeah, they sold more.
Right.
Exactly.
You're just going to know who the really cool parents are because all the kids are going to be hanging out over there.
And so either this leads to something that's just unenforceable, that's a joke, that makes everybody feel good but doesn't accomplish anything, or if they put real teeth in it, you have a massive regulation of the internet where you're essentially getting rid of anonymity.
They've been trying to do that for a while.
Yes.
Or worse, they get close to that and it's still wholeheartedly ineffective. So they have their apparatus with the teeth. Yeah.
But the kids are still not all right.
Yeah, the kids are not all right.
That would be something, wouldn't it?
I know, right?
Yeah, and it's just also the expansion of 702. It's like we're dealing folks who really don't give a damn what a lot of Americans think.
They don't.
Right? You're not in charge.
No.
Do you feel in charge?
No, even the day that I get to go vote, I don't feel in charge. I kind of feel like a rube.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you disagree, Byron?
I'm going to say yes.
Good.
But I don't know, man.
I mean, I'm one of them guys. When Joey, a couple of cycles ago, Joey wasn't going to vote during the presidency thing, and it bothered me. It bothered me. But he's also made me realize, as many times as I voted, which just about every time, have I had any real effect?
The way I look at it is, even if we don't, we have to. And so many people pay the price for us too. If we don't, we're dishonoring them. So I do my duty. I get out and vote. I know that in the grand scheme of things, my vote has a greater impact on a local level than it does any other level. But let me just say it this way. I'm not afraid to undervote. If I want to skip over somebody because I don't like you or I disapprove of the way that you run your campaign, I think it's dishonest.
Well, and I've gotten to the point where I think the local races where it's very low, like runoffs, local races really do matter.
Sure.
But when Eddie, who's going to win the presidential election in Alabama?
Oh, in the state of Alabama? Well, that would be Donald John Trump.
Right. Any chance anybody else wins that?
There's a chance, but it's not going to happen.
And there's a lot of blue states where it's clearly going to be always will be the Democrat.
Right.
And a lot of red states will always be the Republican. And if you're in one of those states and you're a part of the team, like, what do we?
Well, you kind of get ignored, don't you? Because the fight goes to the battleground state.
Right. And so the battleground states where the action is at the presidential level, I think your vote matters a little more there. But a lot of this stuff, your choices, so many choices are made for you before you ever get your choice at the ballot box.
The two electors.
Well, and here's how I would put it. I do vote now. That one year, I was just in a very dark anarchist place.
But
I
learned so much from you that time, and not in a bad way.
Sure, thank you.
I mean, because again, I was pissed. It's like, how can Joey, of all people, how could he not get involved in this process? Being as young as he is, he should believe in it.
Well, and that's where I think it ends up being fraud. And it's one phrase that people bandy about around election time that gets me going is your vote is your voice.
Right.
And I'm like, no.
That's
It's more a muzzle.
the hard
than anything
reality.
else.
Yeah, but as individuals, that's true. But as someone told me one time, when you can start mobilizing thousands of people, and I do believe that you influence thousands of people, then that matters, right?
Sure.
So vote every day on the radio. Vote every day.
That's what I mean.
Right.
Well, and the thing is, it's not a vote that necessarily guarantees my voice. It's this thing called the First Amendment that we all cherish or claim to cherish.
Trying to hold on to
a degree. But it's those sorts of rights that are essentially like nobody's allowed to vote this away. No government's allowed to take this away. These are natural. These are given to you by God above. Those are the things that I would rather people emphasize and remember. And people get tricked into thinking, well, actually, the more important thing is I get to go vote. And I'm like, that's a civil right that allows you to be part of, yes, a larger group, a voting block, and you can make your voice heard as a group and a block. But I think the much more important things in this life, especially before you ever get to election day, all those choices made before you ever make your choice, have a lot to do with using your voice, using your money, setting up organizations and institutions around it.
And be active in the campaigns of the candidates that you want to support.
Right.
I mean, that's what has been heartbreaking to me is our activists are no longer activists. I mean, and that's scary.
272-9228. But here is it was an interesting conversation. Hopefully they don't curse. It's potty mouth. Joe Rogan with Tulsi Gabbard.
Ooh.
Many are predicting Trump will pick as the VP pick. But here is Rogan and Tulsi going back and forth about the TikTok bill.
Your opinion on this potential TikTok ban?
I oppose it. I oppose it on the grounds of free speech and civil liberties. You know, this is, speaking of fomenting fear, this is one of those pieces of legislation that's, if you just read the talking points for those who support it, and it's supported by many people in Congress on both sides of the aisle, you think like, oh my gosh, we've got a national security risk and you've got concern for our kids and all of this other stuff. But when you actually read the language and understand the implications of what this legislation does, it's not really about TikTok at all. It's about government being able to choose what platforms are acceptable and what are not, and what we as Americans are able to either get information from or put information out. And then you look at, okay, well, if they're giving themselves that authority, how will it then be enforced? Then you get into the civil liberties concern of the Fourth Amendment of government overreach and trying to figure out, okay, well, now I'm going to have to look into your phone and figure out if you're the guy who's using the VPN to illegally download this app. Then you're looking at, the designation is that if you have 20% or more ownership stake or stake in a business that has been designated by our government to be illegal because of its association with a foreign adversary. There are a few countries listed there, but the president would have the power to designate any other country a foreign adversary without any kind of, Congress wouldn't have to take action. It's a unilateral move. You are also implicated if you are someone who the government determines to be influenced by or connected with one of these countries that is a foreign adversary. And so, Elon Musk has talked about this. It is not outside of the realm of the not only possible, but the probable that if they wanted to say, okay, well, Elon Musk is doing business with this country that we don't like, and he also owns this platform called X should be shut down.
Right. And we already know Elon does a lot of business through as many companies through China.
The part that scared me was the influence by.
Right.
I mean, come on.
Right. No, and when I read the law too, I'm like, that seems like there are very smart, devilish lawyers who are paid a lot of money to use that sort of unclear, vague language to do whatever they want. Like, it's just... And to me, I think maybe some of these folks voting for it are being taken for a ride. They just really do want to fight back China and protect the kids. But I don't buy it. I think most of them are in on it. They know exactly what they're playing into.
Told what to do.
Exactly what they're doing, yes.
And I tend to agree with Eddie more, but
being told what to do.
I think that's, yeah.
But leaderships.
Because they all tote the same line, which to me, that line is ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. When is the last time they've done anything for the American people?
Let's ponder that before.
Right. Now, they do stuff to us on a regular basis.
Right.
They do stuff supposedly for us on a regular basis. But they hadn't looked out for us since I don't know when.
Like, the last time they really did something for us. That's what your question was? For us?
For us.
Like, not milking us, not using us like chattel.
Not doing something to us.
When was the last time they recognized a new holiday?
Well, we have whole months now.
That's actually a really sad question and should have to try to answer.
Well, in the meantime, I guess we could always, Yeah, maybe I'll try vegan food out.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
It's time to show Mom how much you appreciate her with a Jenny Lynn's floral creation for Mother's Day. Skip the grocery store flowers and make one quick call. 285-1000. Roses, lilies, beautiful bouquets, and gift baskets designed just for Mom. Call Jenny Lynn's Creations 285-1000.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
The River Region's News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the program. That's 334-272-9228. Turn down the music, hippie. Dadgum. We have Eddie Bader and Byron Sheehy here in the studio. But first, folks, this part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. Guys, two things can start to happen as men mature. One is issues in the bedroom, erectile dysfunction, and you know what I'm talking about.
It happens.
And a more general problem could be leading to that ED or other issues is low testosterone.
Exactly.
These are not things to deny, put off, don't be embarrassed, don't wait to get it fixed. I know guys hate going to the doctor, but, Montgomery Men's Health was created to take care of guys just like you. And the reality is pills often quit working and guys start making excuses for not coming to bed. And you feel like, is there no help? No, Montgomery Men's Health can help you. So if you're lacking motivation and drive, including sex drive, just feel low energy and just always tired, feel like you're walking through life in a fog, knowing whether or not you have low testosterone is huge in combating some of these issues. And, honestly, as you age, you should get a testosterone and PSA check as part of your annual men's health routine. And the providers there at Montgomery Men's Health can help you do just that. They'll conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for only $99. And Montgomery Men's Health has low-T treatments that truly change lives. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym.
Brother.
Right, brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism, usually even notice an increased libido, which is a fancy Latin word for sex drive. So you can actually book the same day that you call. 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today. Now, I just noticed this from Bloomberg News. Just in, President Trump is winnowing down his vice presidential selection to... Now, before I announce these, Like, how does Bloomberg News end up with this? Byron.
Someone leaked it.
Leaked it against their boss's wishes, against the manager's wishes, or is this sort of the game of telephone to get?
Sometimes there are
true moles.
Yeah,
okay.
Like someone wanted it leaked.
Right.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
In a positive way.
This could be trial balloons. It'd be like, throw the names out there. Who gets excited over them?
Yep.
So this is who Bloomberg is reporting as Trump is winnowing down his Veep list. North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum. Doug. And
Doug.
Isn't he independently wealthy too?
I thought so.
Yeah. That could play well. You have another guy who has some immunity from the donor class. That's interesting. Florida Senator Marco Rubio.
I don't see that.
No to Rubio.
No, I don't see that.
That was just let's put a name in there.
Yeah, need a fill in a blank.
That butterface. Ohio Senator J.D. Vance. I love J.D. Vance, but
I
he's
like
too
him where
new.
he's at.
Yeah,
I like him where he's at.
I don't think he does anything.
And whenever they mention senators, whether it's Rubio or Vance or Tim Scott is the other name Bloomberg put out there.
Mm-hmm.
Or like when Katie Britt's name's floated or it's like you don't have much of a majority in the Senate. These folks need to stay put.
Well, I think also they put him out there just to check the applause meter. How much?
Yeah, but all right. So they also do it to try to ensure that state first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they want to make sure that that's a win.
Yeah. Yep.
Ohio's already red.
Yeah, red. Yeah.
Yeah. So the whole Midwesterner appeal to other Midwestern states, I don't actually buy into that as much as other people do.
The whole Doug Burgum pick would be there.
I like Burgum more than Vance.
Okay.
Because that's more of a cultural vote
Right.
as to who he is, what kind of, where he comes from.
He came across, we joke, but at those debates, when it was a circus, I love Vivek. But
he was the
Doug
one that was
Burgum
calm.
came across as like there's something about the guy, his energy, his aura he's putting out.
Yeah.
He seemed like a legit guy and likable. Like there's something about that sort of aw shucks, I've been incredibly successful in America, but I know small town sort of thing that does play. And given like Trump is still the brash New Yorker, Donnie from Queens, so to speak, calling in. How you doing, Joe? This is Donnie from Queens. I think having this guy's a little more low key.
The straight guy.
Yeah, it works out a little more.
Yep.
Doug, what do you think, Doug? Did Ted Cruz did Mr. Becker get it right?
But does he need a fall guy? Is he going to need a bit of a rube?
I don't know if he needs a fall guy.
No.
You just need somebody you can somewhat trust. You don't want a Veep that's trying to stab you in the back.
No, totally trust.
Yeah.
Right. But they
Totally
they got to know that when Trump's done with me, he's done with me.
Yeah, but
of course
Doug wouldn't care, right?
Yeah, look at him. Right.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. It have to be somebody that my thoughts. It has to be somebody that this is going to be their last ride.
Doesn't care what
Yeah.
happens in the future.
Yep.
Political
They're just
career, doing it for the right reasons. Blah 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 blah. Yep.
Whereas somebody like Vivek and some of the other guys that still have leadership potential maybe in their mind down the road, I don't know if they'll jump.
If I was advising Vivek from my humble perch, I would say don't do it.
Me too.
And there is that segment of Republicans that don't like Trump,
Mhm.
and they will remember this moving forward. You know, one way or the other. You know, you're not going to please everyone.
And let's be blunt, Eddie brought this up. They also don't like the vegan Hindu guy. I love
that became
Vivek, but
incredibly apparent.
But I remember, like he's talked about it on podcasts subsequent to the election. He had a tough time in Iowa.
Yeah, but those people who probably don't like him probably really love Trump.
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
That's true.
Well, and you did have this very Christian conservative group there in Iowa. They didn't like Trump, and they could not get over this guy. He's not Christian. He's a Hindu. And like to Vivek's credit and to the people there in Iowa's credit, they broke bread. They got to know each other. But I think it was a kind of a deal breaker for a lot of people. So you never know. You never know, because there's a lot of names being thrown out as trial balloons. Maybe Bloomberg's right on this, maybe not. But it could be a feint of some sort, or they pick somebody else. But we shall see. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. Again, that's 272-9228. This part of the program, again, brought to you by Dylan Rings. And, of course, Josh and Leslie Ryder over there are ready to help out all you May babies. All you folks born in the month of May, they have the emerald stones ready to go.
They sure do, Joey.
And if you go to their Facebook page, you can see how they've, created an emerald bracelet, I believe, with diamond encrusted around each of the emerald stones, maybe an emerald pendant, could be a ring that you're looking to get done. Now, at Dillon Rings, they have this amazing selection from high-end to everyday jewelry. But, of course, they can also do repairs, including watch repairs. They can do spa treatments, which is like, think of your jewelry being freshened up. It's polished and stones reset. Just clean it up. And, of course, that custom design work by Josh Ryder is second to none. The man is a true artist. If you can dream of it, he can make it a reality. I've seen him do it. It's kind of remarkable how his mind works. And really, the deal is you should just stop by Dillon Rings, 119 Brown Springs Road. They got everything you'd ever want. 119 Brown Springs Road, just off of Atlanta Highway here in Montgomery. And be sure to tell Josh and Leslie Ryder that those fellas on the radio, Joey and Eddie, and bonus points if you throw in Byron, that we sent you. Final hour coming up.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Hamas considering the latest proposal for a ceasefire with Israel that the United States and other mediators hope will avert an Israeli attack on the Gaza town of Rafah. President Biden has broken his silence on nationwide campus protests by condemning violent and hateful behavior. And police continue to arrest pro-Palestinian protesters on college campuses across the country overnight, notably at the University of California, Los Angeles. Peloton cutting about 400 jobs worldwide, part of a restructuring effort, and its CEO Barry McCarthy stepping down after 2 years as that company continues to work on turning around its business. The Dow had 279 points and the Nasdaq up 212. This is SRN News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. We've helped over 30,000 families out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. If your timeshare agreement goes on forever, if you were told timeshares are a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, you have questions, we have the answers. At Wesley Financial Group, we're dedicated to helping timeshare owners get out of their financial nightmare. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-256-5533. That's 800-256-5533. 800-256-5533.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where dump truck drivers are in demand. Wiley Sanders is on the grow. We need dump truck drivers now. Call 855-77-9785.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. It's pretty early for this kind of warmth with the month of May just beginning, but the heat is locked in at least through the weekend, if not longer. Today, with lots of sunshine, almost summer-like with a high temperature near 90. Rain chances, 10%. Tomorrow's high flirting with 90 again. Widely scattered random showers and storms possible tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday, but very low-end rain chances with 60s at night and great weather on the coast with highs near 80. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
1819 News.
A committee with the Alabama Senate has put forward a bill on Thursday that seeks to remove exemptions to public schools and libraries regarding obscene materials. HB 385 is sponsored by State Representative Arnold Mooney and was offered to address the controversy that has erupted in the past year between parents and library directors over the types of books and materials that are being made available to children in public and school libraries. Current state law prohibits a person from knowingly distributing obscene or sexually explicit images, but has an exemption for libraries at schools, colleges, or public. This bill would remove that exemption given to public libraries. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Alabama Unfiltered Radio, and when I need the news and I need it fast, I turn to Andrea Tice and the Daily Detail. On my way in, it is the most convenient, best way for me to digest what's going on so that I can use it for our show. She tells you what's going on in Alabama that day first and fast. So listen to the Daily Detail with Andrea Tice. Don't miss out.
The Daily Detail is available wherever podcasts are found.
A man from Troy has been sentenced to life in prison after a rape conviction. Antonio Price pleaded guilty to the charges this week. The judge's sentencing was in consideration of Price's past criminal history. The latest case against Price involves the rape of a woman where he tied her to a bed and then stole her car. A burn ban has gone into effect this week that will be in place in 12 counties here in Alabama until October of this year. The counties that are involved in the burn ban are Baldwin, DeKalb, Etowah, Jefferson, Lawrence, Madison, Mobile, Montgomery, Morgan, Russell, Shelby, and Talladega counties. The Alabama Department of Environmental Management says the burn ban is to protect air quality during the summer months. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Hi, I'm Mark DePlanche with Admiral Movers. People ask, what makes Admiral Movers different from other movers? It's simple. We take pride in caring for our team, so we know that they will take care of you. All of our team members are Admiral employees. They are all fully background checked and trained in-house. We never hire day laborers. So for your next move, whether it's a commercial move or household move, across town or across the country, call Montgomery's favorite movers, Admiral Movers. Mention code SUMMER10 to save 10% on your next move.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Hey, miss, I don't mean to be telling tales out of school, but there's a fella in there who'll pay you $10 if you sing into his pan. I'm not here to make a record, you dumb cracker. They broadcast me out on the radio.
Joey Clark.
Welcome to the final hour of News and Views in the afternoon, or as we're calling it online, Joey Clark Live. 272-9228, as the big boy said, if you want to get in on the conversation. 272-9228. I'm just double checking Alabama news here before we continue on with all the speculation around national issues, including a new study that came out. First, I had to check this isn't like some Klan crap, right?
Oh.
Some Nazi stuff. But no, it was like a new study the Telegraph across the pond there in England put out.
Yeah.
And it's based on somebody's face. You can tell within a certain margin of error what their political affiliation would be. Like, and this came up because Megyn Kelly started musing, like, why are all these protesters on these college campuses like so like fugly? Excuse me, pardon me, like just like terrible, like not good looking, weird little cretins. I don't know. Those are all my words. I can't believe I just said all that. But that was her point. Like, why are all these people ugly? And we'll get into, maybe there's some science behind it.
Were you especially pretty in college?
No, I fit right in with the freaks. I should be liberal.
See,
yeah, looking at my face, I should be.
All right, look at my face.
A commie. Your face?
Is it obvious? That's saying the same article.
I'm saying retired Republican, scholarly libertarian.
Mm-hmm. And you're obviously a Republican.
Yeah, very much so.
I'm just
that square jaw. Yeah.
Square jaw.
We'll have to wait and see what the results
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Nice shirt, shorts, and flip flops. Yeah, straight up Republican.
But we not have a story out of, just because we haven't covered it here. I guess this came out a few days ago, picked up by 1819 News today. Arab, is that how it's said here in the state?
That's how I say it.
Arab high school football coach arrested for allegedly sending obscene photos to male student. Well, given his jawline, he looks Republican. Arab high school football coach Lee Osment. O-Z Mint. Lee Osment was arrested last Thursday, charged with sending obscene photos to a male student. A post on the Arab City Schools Facebook account mentioned that school officials had been made aware of possible unprofessional and inappropriate communications between a teacher and student earlier in the week. As soon as the administration was made aware of the allegations, Arab City school officials contacted law enforcement and launched an internal investigation. This is from a post there on Facebook from the school's Facebook page. As part of this internal investigation, the teacher in question was placed on administrative leave and will not allowed to be it won't be allowed to be on any Arab City school campus. The situation evolved rapidly. The investigating officials interviewed both the teacher and student and investigated other relevant information as it arose during the process. Currently, the teacher remains on administrative leave and is not allowed on any campus. To ensure that it protects the rights of all involved, Arab City schools will not be sharing any additional information at this time. Well, that's just... What photos did the guy send?
Wait, teacher, coach?
Football coach.
And his player?
Didn't say it. I don't even know if it's a male student that he sent them to. Nor do I know what type of pictures he sent.
Well, following the initial investigation, Osmond was charged with being a school employee and distributing and or soliciting obscene material to a student under the age of 19, which is only a Class A misdemeanor. Bond set at $500. The police chief there, Washburn, said the investigation will continue, but as of now, since there's no evidence of physical contact, the charge has not been upgraded to a felony. That's creepy as hell.
Very
man.
creepy.
Very dumb.
Here's what one mother said there, sends her kids to Arab High School. I gave this man my boys willingly. He laughed with them, laughed with us. He's driven them home alone. I've watched their hearts sink many times in the last 2 days, and I don't foresee a change in that. We're hurt here. And this, is it that we're covering, like, there are more eyeballs now? Or has there been an increase? And, of course, men, but also female teachers. Seems like there's been an increase in a lot of this
to me,
stuff.
I don't see how you deny that.
Is that porn? Is that just the culture going in a certain
Right
direction? Phone?
Social media.
Yeah,
Everything's everyone's
You're right.
desensitized even more. It's more readily available.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, I got Teach's number. I'll just text
Yeah,
him
the
or her.
convenience
when I
factor.
said
And
dumb, that's why I said that instead of appalling or sickening or anything like that. Is from the adult standpoint. I mean, surely he has to know that he would be found out.
right, for many reasons. It's on his phone, for one.
Yeah.
For no doubt. And have you ever met a teenager that kind of keep quiet?
Well, let's get a photo of the guy up on the live stream here, see if we can tell. Just kind of looks like a guy.
Yeah.
All right, then. Well, on to this other Telegraph article. It's just, it is sickening. Dumb as well, to your point, Byron, but also pretty sickening. I can't imagine being a parent. and
How
trusting
long
people.
was this guy there? Did it say?
Didn't say.
Didn't say, but it sounded like he was an established coach.
Right. Yeah.
I just can't believe that someone in a small town like that, if they were that perverted, would be able to keep it under wraps for that long. I mean, Arab's not exactly a
You're right.
thriving metropolis.
Yeah, but it doesn't, like, small towns can be quiet, though.
Yeah, but
people don't ask around too
someone else will come out if it's true.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the case. Maybe that's why they.
Yeah, sure.
So this is the Telegraph. What your face says about how you'll vote in the election. Square-jawed people are more likely to have right-wing views, researchers suggest. Oh, all right then. And really, apparently I can't read the article until I start my free trial on the Telegraph. So, yeah, the point is that more you're baby face like I have, it tends to be more liberal, more like square jaw. Masculine tends to be more conservative.
What if they're just so fat they got no neck and it's all just one big? Because there's a lot of that.
They probably don't get out the vote.
Ooh, didn't even think about that.
Yeah, but Karl Rove's a Republican.
He is a fat bastard.
No, it's I kind of find I thought this was pseudoscience. Like, are we really going back to this whole like I can look at your face and know you're a criminal and what your political
I don't know if it's
affiliation
that,
is?
But do you not have, when you're in a crowd, do you not scan the crowd and you not have ideas pop up in your head about just strangers? Like,
give me an
just me?
example.
Well, say we were at a concert.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And let's say we're at a Black Crowes concert, Joey.
Sure.
So we know the actions that happens at Black Crowes concerts. Would you look around the crowd and see every stoner and assume that they were more of a Democrat type person, or would you be able to look at their face and go, even though he's high, yeah, that's a Republican right there.
I don't know. Like, no, I don't think you can tell if somebody's a Democrat or Republican. I don't buy the study is my point.
Okay.
Well, yeah, to your point, the fact that there's actually money behind this kind of stuff is the absurd part.
Yeah.
Who paid for the study? We did?
Like, do we have to relive all the 20s and 30s of the 20th century?
Or the 1820s and
right. Like, goodness gracious. But that's how absurd some things are going here. Absolutely absurd. Since I ran out of, because I'm not paying for the Telegraph, excuse me, pardon me.
Did you see this? And you guys might have talked about it and I didn't catch it. But the Selma police chief, they suspended him yet again.
Oh, yeah.
What's up with that?
Montgomery and Selma now.
Well, Montgomery got rid of the police chiefs, but Selma suspended theirs. And the mayor came out with some reasoning, and I read it, but I don't know, man. And it's the second time he's been suspended. Obviously, there's some turmoil there.
We might have a crime problem on our hands here pretty soon if they can't get this squared away.
That's just. This is very true.
I tried not to laugh.
Goodness gracious.
The Selma thing just blew me away. Mainly when you look at the reasons why. They did have some shootings this weekend. They had to close their schools down Monday, I think Tuesday too, because they were worried about some shootings happening at the school. I just don't know what he's expecting from the police chief.
Hold on, that for real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dead serious.
That was a real story.
It's a real story. And he's put in there because, I don't know if it's because the actions the police chief didn't take is why he suspended him, but he kind of put it on the police chief.
You know what, man? I'm not in for just call down the guard for any willy-nilly thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Something like that. Roll the guard into that high school.
That should have happened over there a long time ago.
No, and I've always liked the idea, too, if you've got a juvenile, like a young kid who's engaging in violent crime, like violent behavior, you get shipped to boot camp. We got a special one for you. Like, and we're going to teach you to be a man. And you ain't getting away with stuff.
I'm all about it. Too many people don't have fathers that'll do that or don't have fathers, period. So, yeah, I'm all about it.
And I think an actual good argument for 2 years of military service.
You know, when I was younger, I was as anti for that as it can be. But as I've gotten older and I watch our younger society, the lack of leadership when they come out of high school and in college, they have no idea of what they want to do. They can be easily influenced. I think it'd be important for them just for their own future, their own rounding of becoming a man or a woman, join the military for a couple of years, see the world, and realize Alabama, not just Alabama, but the United States is not the world. We are just a place in this world.
Allow them time to find their purpose.
Right.
Well, but I look at like who staffs up a lot of these schools. They ain't prepared they might be more prepared than the average bear because they've been through it for a few years. But a lot of these teachers or administrators aren't ready to deal with actual, like a truly violent person.
I agree, but
we're getting a lot of that now.
Again, why don't we, not just here in Alabama, but nationwide, why do we not have police in schools? Why do we have them at the front door?
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
Well, I still don't understand why we just turn our kids over to the schools like they're babysitters and supposed to teach our kids everything. Like the way that I was raised, education started in the home, and the school was a supplement to that.
Well,
and now it's the school is responsible for teaching our kids everything.
Right.
And, you know, parents have to spend 45 minutes going over stuff with their kids. Then, like, somehow that's, you know.
A lot of them, that's too much.
Yeah.
Well, and that brings me to, I want to read something here because I've had it actually for a couple of weeks, just haven't gotten to it. It's by a guy named Carl Streitel. He's a 19-year now retired English teacher. So a public school teacher. And he just put this out the other day, an op-ed, and all the names are changed in this when he starts talking about students. But let me just read this real quick. For 19 years, writes Carl, I was a master of time. Down to the minute, I controlled time for others and used it to meet my and others' ends, irrespective of the desires of those in front of me. In short, I was a public school teacher, and controlling time was my talent. Although I and other adults often talked about helping students reach their potential and grow as learners, what we really did each day was control their time and force upon them ideas and subjects in which most of them had little to no interest. What if there were a better way? A way to help each student learn the way he or she learns best, develop autonomy, explore passions, and take control of his or her own time. Thankfully, that way does exist in a form of alternative schools and learning programs that continue to increase in number each day. For example, I remember Adam, a bright and motivated senior with a passion for business. However, Adam felt pressured to attend college even though he felt no real drive to do so. He dutifully attended his classes and earned high grades, but he shared with me towards the end of the school year that he felt like college would be a waste of time and money. What he truly wanted was to enter the business world and gain experience, not sit in an intro to astronomy class to pad the college's bottom line. What if Adam had known about, say, Praxis, the college alternative that helps students develop professional skills and work alongside a mentor for a full year? It's a really cool program, by the way. You can get a liberal arts education, interdisciplinary, and you're essentially a paid intern. So a lot of the tuition you pay, you're earning back and getting real experience in networking. But might such a program have been a better fit for someone like Adam than the one-size-fits-none college curriculum? I also remember Bailey, a shy freshman who only sporadically turned in work, but who often participated in our class discussions, especially those about contentious issues. One day after class, I asked her about her incomplete work, and she told me that everything she enjoyed was outside school and that she felt she wasn't, quote unquote, good at school. What if Bailey had known about, say, North Star, a self-directed learning for teens, an unschool that builds personalized curricula around students' interests and strengths and eschews grades in favor of actual learning?
Sounds like a great program.
Might she have felt differently about her days and about learning? Finally, I remember Celine, an outspoken junior whose inquisitive mind often led to numerous questions each class period, but also to a dissatisfaction with the perceived mindlessness and passivity of school. This is the point about daycare in particular. Celine's parents had even considered homeschooling, but her father told me they were afraid to mess things up. What if Celine and her parents had known about, say, Brooklyn Apple Academy, a home for homeschoolers that offers part-time classes, field trips, and camps, including a program called The Works, in which students investigate the functioning of the city's infrastructure? Might Celine have been more active in and excited about learning? And might her parents have felt more confident homeschooling, knowing they weren't going to go at it alone? The above examples are just 3 among hundreds I can recall from my work controlling students' time. And I'm sure you are familiar with thousands more that all tell us that the same thing. Coercive schooling does not work and harms far more than it helps. However, what if children and their parents had alternatives to such a baneful system? And what if these alternatives were voluntary and focused on students' actual needs and interests? Luckily for us, these alternatives are here and more are opening each day. As a repentant master of others' time, I implore you, seek out these alternatives and leave behind government, schools, coercion, and disinterest. Children deserve nothing less. And it's from a guy named Carl Streitel, again, 19-year high school English teacher. And I find those folks who sort of reformed, like repentant, as he put it, where you do the job and you realize, you're well-intentioned, but you realize over time, what am I doing here?
Yeah, but the one line I'd have to disagree with, the doing more harm than good. I mean, yeah, some students fall through the cracks and some students care less. But by and large, I think most kids do get something out of going to school.
Yeah, and then, but you could make the argument back that the kids who are getting something out could get something out of a different program just as well. Like a lot of this
But
comes
that's not
down-
the argument that he made. That's not what he said.
Yeah, well, he could probably. I'm not him, but I have heard it said that public schools are prisons for children, the only place they'll experience violence in their daily lives.
I do think it was.
There's a lot of them like that.
I don't think there's any coincidence that the model that we have for schools, first period bell, second period bell, is modeled a lot like the industrial whistleblowing.
Yep.
You got to be at the plant, at the plant on
That's
time
exactly
to make your
right.
sprockets and everything. I'd love to see sort of a pod type model where kids of similar interests and maybe skill are grouped together, and the teachers come to them instead of sending the kids to the teachers.
And it actually could work out better for teachers, and especially if you're a good teacher, then you're in high demand and you can demand top dollar. And it's to your point you made earlier that now it's almost like, let's just put the kid there while I go to work, and they are supposed to teach them everything, including how to have sex. It's just like, what in the world are we doing?
And also, he said, what if parents knew? What if parents cared?
Right.
That's a large percentage of it right there. They don't care. They assume I send my kid to school. You guys are going to babysit them.
Like,
you guys
it's
are going
their
to feed
job
them.
to do it.
All right, I'm paying you to do that.
Well, and you have to, I've been on this kick for years now. You have to wonder how much that used to be a personal responsibility or something like a fraternal group or your network, local community responsibility, has been taken away by government getting involved, federal government in particular. That they essentially said, the voluntary networks of people in personal responsibility, that's so old hat. That's so, 1800s. We can't have that anymore. We need the government to come in and give everybody an equal, fair shot. And you've got to wonder how many things were taken over that now that they've been taken over for several generations, people have forgotten that sort of independent way of doing things.
I'd like to think that we're on the cusp of, you said, the government taking it away. I like to think of it from the language of where we are taking it back. Not, we ceded it, we gave it to the government. Now we're taking it back. Someone said the other day, and I was so amazed that they said it this way. One of the things that they're using to kind of whittle down their circle of friends or who they spend time with is a very simple filter. Are they good parents or not? And to me, that spoke volumes.
That is a huge reflection. And I hate to think it because I'm not a parent and I could speculate, but who the heck knows how I would be. But I'd like to think that is like the most important responsibility in your life at that point.
Right, but put it in perspective. It wasn't socioeconomic class. It wasn't where they go to church. It wasn't whether they vote the same way as I do. It was just, are they good parents? Going back to find common ground.
Right.
Be concerned about your family.
Well, and I can remember going back years, Dan Morris would constantly bring this up, that a lot of studies have shown, doesn't matter how much, socioeconomic status, class, race, any of this stuff.
Dinner table?
Dinner table's one, but they were able to come up with a more meta number where it was how much money and time, it doesn't matter how much money you make, whatever percentage of your money and time are you devoting to your kids and their education in particular. And the more you did, the better the kid would do. Again, no matter if you're very poor or you're very rich, like it was all about that role model, that guardian actually taking time and money to serve their child and provide for them. And unfortunately, there are a lot of folks who, that's why it baffles me. Like, who are these people that have a kid and just don't give a damn?
More out there than you think, Joey.
Oh, and apparently.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we got to hit a break here. 272-9228 if you want to hop in. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group. Selling a home in the river region in this market takes some planning and preparation to be successful. Here are some steps to take to get your home sold fast. Remember the 5 Ps. Prepare the home, fresh coat of paint inside and out, and complete any repairs needed. Professionally clean the home. A deep cleaning of floors, cabinets, windows, and blinds will leave a great impression for future buyers. Provide a home warranty for the buyer to give the buyer peace of mind after the closing. Provide a closing cost allowance for the buyer to help them be able to afford your home. Price your home to sell, not sit. A comparative market analysis from a local realtor will demonstrate what other properties have sold for in your neighborhood. Well-priced homes sell faster with less hassle. Houses are selling fast and sellers are getting top dollar. For all the answers, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group, 221-2883 or 551-0225.
Hello, everyone. Robbie Pelt with Capital City Roofing. If you think about it, your home is your biggest investment in life. Your roof covers your home, so why jeopardize your biggest investment on a roofer you don't know anything about when you can deal with a reputable roofing company like Capital City Roofing? We have an A+ Better business rating and the best manufacturers and workmanship warranties available. We do all residential and commercial roofing applications that are certified through the manufacturer to ensure you get the best material and workmanship money can buy. We also have your project in our best interest before and after construction has been done. Don't hesitate to call us if you have any roofing issues or questions. We will match any of our competitors' price and give you the same great workmanship warranty. We also give free estimates. Give us a call today and let us show you the difference. 277-3311. That's 277-3311. Or you can check us out on the web at www.capitalcityroofing.com. Capital City Roofing. We capitalize the roofing industry.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk.
Hey, man.
Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money?
Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest.
You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist?
That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839.
I see.
Yes, he is our preferred money man.
The money man with the money plan.
You've been paying attention.
Well, could you give us those numbers one more time?
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man.
Oh, what's that?
I'm not an elk.
Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you?
Knights of Columbus.
I am not even going to make a comment.
Well, the baby liked it.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Now I have a little story to tell y'all. When 3-year-old Sailor Class began complaining of monsters in her bedroom, her parents thought it was just a figment of her
she's 3.
Overactive imagination.
Right, she's 3.
Right, a cute little sailor. It's okay, there are no monsters.
There's no monsters under your bed.
There's no monsters in the closet, baby.
No.
No. Here, let's watch Monsters Inc. And you can learn that, Mike is...
he's a nice monster.
He's a good guy. He's got one eye, but... and Sully's big and blue and stuff, but he's... Anyway, they really did think it was like, this kid's just being overactive.
Who wouldn't?
Then a beekeeper discovered tens of thousands of honeybees above the girl's bedroom.
Above her bed. Oh,
in
man.
the walls, essentially.
Oh, man.
Candyman, dude.
That poor little girl.
Dude.
Like, that would freak us out.
Yes.
Mom, Dad, we're moving.
Yeah, that is amazing. Yeah, so it turns out that bees generate more than enough heat that you can see
with the thermal image.
their little cities with the use of simple thermal cameras.
Dude.
That's insane. And it looks like, I'm looking at one shot here, it looks like, the lion's share of an entire wall.
I guarantee now, if that girl says anything from now on, her parents will never doubt her again. The guilt that came with that right there, they will never doubt her again.
Apparently, the bees had spent 8 months building the monster hive. As a protected class in the U.S., they were unable to be exterminated, and so they are being relocated to a honeybee sanctuary.
They'd be relocated to honeybee heaven.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Burning down the house, man.
You're all killing a protected class. We need the honeybees. But the beekeeper removed apparently 55,000 to 65,000 bees and 100 pounds of honeycomb. No wonder little sailors like, there's monsters in there.
Can you imagine at night just the buzzing?
No.
No, after all that, he's definitely not removing 100 pounds of honeycomb, though. He's leaving that at the house.
No doubt.
You like honeycomb?
Oh, yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
best.
it's good stuff. It really is good stuff. The homeowner, meanwhile, is facing more than $20,000 in damages. And on that note, this part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. Now, I guess you can't kill the honeybees, but if you do, well, we're seeing it. Ashley was talking about it on Facebook the other day, right, Eddie?
Yep. And we've got that. We've got these termites that are flying around. I talked to somebody at Baumhauer's last night that experienced it. They were not happy about it either.
Termite swarms.
Swarms of termites. And like they said, they thought they were flying ants. They literally thought it was flying ants. And then they kind of picked a few up and they went, ooh, these are termites. So they, luckily for them, they rent the house, but they quickly called their landlord. And I believe their landlord quickly called Ashley and said, help.
Help right now.
Yeah, because you do not want this. It's one thing to have this kind of activity, but that just kind of concretes the fact that they are doing damage to your house.
Exactly. And you want to get, the treatment done before there's any damage.
For
it's
sure.
much less expensive.
For sure.
And homeowners insurance isn't going to cover either. So you definitely need to go with the treatment early because the damage is probably going to be more than 20 grand.
Oh,
like
yeah.
what they have with the bees. This termites can chew up. They're hungry.
Yep.
Vicious little things.
They are. But not only that, Joey, this time of year we got the mosquitoes.
Oh, yeah.
And they've come out and taken care of my Airbnb. I've got no mosquito problems whatsoever.
Folks who don't know, it's on the lake. So it's like in the woods. So it's mosquito
It's
heaven.
in the woods, surrounded by woods, right on the water. And when we first bought it in November, we saw a couple mosquitoes. Finally, I think about a month and a half ago, we called Ashley and them up, and we haven't seen a mosquito since.
That's amazing.
And that my biggest worry was guests. I don't want guests to come and get eaten up by bugs. I got to do something to take care of it. They've absolutely taken care of this for me.
Quick, I had a buddy in from out of town, not from the South, the old mosquito truck.
Yeah.
I was driving down the street. He was like, what is that? I was like, man, that's the mosquito truck. He thought I was lying. He was like, hold on, you mean mosquitoes are so bad down here? I was like, yeah.
Yeah, we have public mosquito trucks.
2 days later, after he got popped, like 18 times sitting out there, he was waiting for the mosquito truck to come by the next night just so you could see.
Well, and this is why you need to, they do that on the main streets, but you need to get that backyard. And especially if you're up in Titus, like your place, you need to get the place treated. And of course, they can help you with any of your pest control problems there at Pest Pro Services. So give Ashley and that great team a call today, 265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or you can always go to pbsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell Ashley that Joey and Eddie and Byron sent you. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
We see it every day. A guy comes into the men's clinic and guess what? The pills quit working, or they're sick of the side effects. And you know what else we see? Guys not confident in their relationship. At Montgomery Men's Health, we're the leaders in bedroom confidence. Understanding if you even need ED or low T treatment should be the first step, and the next should be choosing the treatment or treatment combination to build your confidence. Our urologist and physician group is offering professional modern treatments with success rates as high as 92% and decades of experience. Our doctors are not going to send you an email with what might work for most people. We're results-driven, concierge. You don't pay for medication, it's included, but you invest in the time it takes to get you where you want to be. We've built an experience with discretion that takes the worry out of going to the doctor. In fact, we've normalized it for guys all over Montgomery. Come see our friendly team in Montgomery and find out why we've been #1 in men's health for years. Get a consultation and low T blood work with results on your first visit for $99. Get your confidence back in the bedroom and beyond. Go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com and book your appointment today. MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com.
When you use Bounce dryer sheets and your clothes look amazing, it's the sheet. Less static in your life? Yeah, it's the sheet. Smelling fresher than ever? It's the sheet. Oh, so soft fabric? Ooh la la. It's the sheet. Less wrinkles on your clothes? You know it's the sheet. Bounce dryer sheets. More freshness, more softness. Less static, less wrinkles. It's the sheet.
Hey there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. Our partnership with Blue Water Broadcasting has reached thousands of listeners in the river region. People listen, people call. Now there's mortgage savings for us all.
Radio reaches over 90% of everyone in the river region. Shouldn't your ads be out there where your customers are? Call us to find out more. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is #1 in the #2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Earnest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Earnest, 334-279-7431. Earnest Financial, LLC.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. It's pretty early for this kind of warmth with the month of May just beginning, but the heat is locked in at least through the weekend, if not longer. Today, with lots of sunshine, almost summer-like with a high temperature near 90. Rain chances, 10%. Tomorrow's high flirting with 90 again. Widely scattered random showers and storms possible tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday, but very low-end rain chances with 60s at night and great weather on the coast with highs near 80. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
This spring, mow with the flow with a Kubota zero-turn mower. John Bobo with Capital Tractor. Kubota Z232 puts power where you need it, when you need it. Save now with our spring specials. Powering Alabama, Capital Tractor, Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Fat broads and horse. Shut up, silly woman.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Howdy, cowpokes.
I like this little ditty.
Yeah, this was fun to make up the other day.
Where does this come from? Your music selections, where do you pull them?
It comes from the mind of Joey Clark.
Yeah, all this is me. I recorded.
You're lying.
All
No,
that stuff,
it's good stuff. In fact,
yeah,
you know,
it goes from that country stuff to like stuff like
Celine
that.
Dion.
Celine Dion.
I'm not buying.
You don't think I made all this?
Mm-mm.
Oh, he did. In fact, Joey, I give you a hard time about your music, but I try to encourage you as well. But last night, someone came up and they said, when's Joey going to drop at least LP? At least one LP.
Well, I have 4 songs recorded with my vocal on
we
it,
got a
and I'm
CD
self-conscious about
We got
my
a CD
voice.
5 right there.
You're the songbird of your generation.
That's right. Sing, baby. Sing.
See, it's stuff like that.
No, I'm being for real.
I know.
I mean, if you can't sing around us, come on.
Right, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, please don't.
But no, all this bumper music. Well, I had to do it because of copyright with YouTube. We're streaming. So I'm like, I can make music. Let's just make in and out stuff.
But look how good you are under the gun. They said, Joey, you can't do it this way. You said, oh, yeah, I'll figure it out.
Oh, I got it. I got you.
Right.
I got it right here.
Love it.
Now, a quick rundown. 1819 News just repopulated some breaking stories here.
Okay.
One based on what everybody, I guess, in the state's been talking about. The Senate unlikely to vote again on gambling lottery constitutional amendments today, here on Thursday. So they're running out of legislative days.
Running out of time, right?
They really are.
Don't we still have budgeting?
I think they got the budgets done.
Okay.
Now, do you think they'd call a special session?
They might.
They have
They
before.
might, especially because the governor's got that power and she wants it done.
There's a reason they're not going to vote on it again, right?
Yeah, they said they don't want to bring it to the floor until they are 100% sure it'll pass.
Yeah, that's what they always say.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who don't want to have to go on record another time voting for this thing.
You voted for it twice.
Yeah. You had a time to get right, but you didn't.
Yep.
Now, here's another one from Deska Craig Monger. And Craig Monger will be joining us tomorrow,
Love
of
me some
course,
Craig.
folks. But it is National Prayer Day.
Yeah.
And I have nothing against prayer. In fact, you should do it and do it more often than you already are. But I really don't need politicians to tell me to pray. Let's all pray together.
They're just reminding you to.
Well, and then this one, what an amazing headline. Alabama House of Representatives kicks off National Day of Prayer with Hindu prayer and scripture recitation.
That's Alabama?
Bet you $1 to a donut. There's a company based in India that
can do
is
some business
being for packaging a deal for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, first to the podium was Hindu statesman Rajan Zed, interpreted by Arpita Patel. Both were guests of State Rep Mike Shaw from Hoover and Jeremy Gray, a Democrat from Opelika.
Didn't we just have a battle in Alabama about the word namaste and the whole yoga thing? Am I missing something
Tim
here?
James is not happy right
Am I missing something?
and he's not alone. I've got a feeling this story will have some legs. But the fundamental principle of Hinduism is ahimsa? I don't know. Meaning nonviolence in thought, speech, and action. Well, you're in the wrong building for that, sir. With this sentiment in mind, we would like to offer a prayer with you all for there to be infinite peace, good, and enlightenment for all in our great state of Alabama. Well, it's
nice.
Nice enough.
They didn't say
I personally don't have an issue with it.
Did
I
they
just
say
don't
namaste
expect
at the end.
I just didn't expect this in Alabama.
We're growing, man. Our minds are expanding, Joey. So they say.
So he read from one of the Vedas, the Bhagavad Gita, or
Inagata Veda?
Yeah, something like that. And other Hindu scriptures. Zed recited the reading in Sanskrit, and Patel then translated. Huh.
Interesting.
I did not expect that in the Alabama legislation.
Do you a curveball there, huh?
I personally have no issue, but it kind of made
Is
me
there some way
surprised.
that we can see who all participated? Do they take roll at the beginning of the day? Because I'm willing to bet that some people did not attend.
Guaranteed.
Well, after the Hindu prayer concluded, House Speaker Nathaniel Ledbetter allowed prayers from other House members from different denominations. There was a Roman Catholic. There was a Reformed Baptist.
Rastafarian?
No, Eddie, you can. I know you love.
Just checking.
There was a missionary Baptist.
What's the Baptist that hold the snakes?
Those are
I don't
Sand Mountain.
Sand
Baptist?
Mountain.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, type that into the Google. The Baptists that hold them stakes.
There's only 2 recognized churches, I believe, still.
Now, here's the other one coming out from 1819 News from Erica Thomas. Makes no sense. Donald Trump Jr. asked why Alabama won't pass a lottery bill for education.
Well, because it would be for the kids.
Yep.
Oh, it would be for the kids.
Yep.
Here's the actual tweet. He's citing retweeting Cliff Sims. And actually, Cliff's take on this is about the same as mine. But Donald Trump Jr. says, I'm excited to be in Alabama next week for a fundraiser for my dad. But whenever I ask anyone from there what's going on in the state, this is all they talk about. Why is their Senate refusing to let the people vote on a clean bill to legalize the lottery and fund education? Hold on. When 45 states already do it, wouldn't they rather keep the billions of dollars in Alabama instead of sending it to other states? Makes no sense to me. And that's Donald Trump Jr. Wait, is there something in it for him?
I mean, there's probably nothing in it for him, but would they rather keep the billions in Alabama? Yeah, sure, we would love to keep the billions in Alabama. I don't see.
And
any
also,
argument with that.
what
It's
do you
common sense.
What do you mean by we, white man? Like we act like, oh, we're all together and we're all Alabamians. Give me a break. There are a lot of different interests here.
Don't his daddy own casinos? He's pushing gambling.
Yeah.
He's pushing gambling.
There was talk if he did the full on table games stuff, Trump would want to make a bid.
I was going to sell him some land.
You were?
Yeah, that was my plan.
If it happened exactly the way that he wrote it out. It'd pass tomorrow.
Like a clean lottery.
For
I
the
agree.
education, not
Yeah.
for the general fund, for education. Because
Yeah.
if it goes to the general fund, then we may be expanding Medicaid.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it really does need to be.
Plus,
for
our
the
general
kids.
fund is overflowing already.
No, it's not.
No.
Yes. They take too much of my money and they put it in there and they can do with it what they want. I'm not crazy about that.
Yeah, but the general fund's also like minuscule compared to the education trust fund.
But I think that's
by design.
Thank you. I think that the fix is in.
But
We're
we've got
always
this
so
problem
poor.
with
We're
the-
always so poor.
I'm going to throw a crazy concept out there. Why don't we just combine them?
I've thought of that. I agree.
You mean like a lot of other states?
Yeah, I thought that would be a good approach a long time ago.
Oh, and I believe it's Nebraska that they're only allowed to come in 1 year to do the budget and then the other year to do everything else.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's awesome.
Right?
Oh, I like
That's
that.
awesome. I like that.
I like that idea.
And isn't Texas like pretty slim and when they're allowed to do stuff too?
I'd have to look into it. I'm not sure.
But I like that Nebraska.
Yeah, I like that
Yeah.
idea.
Wow.
Limits
their politicians don't.
Limits the amount of play.
Yeah. Man. Yeah, we're not. I don't think we're like the most screwed up state in the union. We're pretty damn corrupt in terms
I've
of the horse trade.
Been
and
saying it
everything
for
goes
years.
on there.
Chicago ain't got nothing on us.
Yeah. What about Jersey?
We're right up there with them, running neck and
Oh,
neck. You think we got Jersey?
Different tactics.
Same results.
Same results.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love swapping stories with Judge Napolitano because he knows plenty of Jersey stuff.
Yeah, he does.
And it's just both of our respective states. Man, we got some winners running the place. By that I mean crooks.
But both of us have potential. We got potential for dates. I feel like we got a little bit more potential than Jersey.
No, Jersey's beautiful. It gets a bad rap. You think of the city part. Like you get outside the cities, Jersey. It's called the
Think of
Garden
Jersey
State
Shore in that
well,
show.
but it's called the Garden State for a reason.
I thought they just put that in there.
And where
try to get people
Napolitano
there.
lives, I think is like a farm. Like
Really?
In
Yeah, like-
rural
No,
parts.
you're right, because there is some actually black bears and things like that in Jersey. I forgot all about that.
Some horse farms.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Oh, Tiger Woods is in Alabama this week.
Why?
His son is playing in the Future Masters in Dothan.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
Keep your eyes open.
Yeah.
You think he'll be riding, not walking?
He'll probably be at Hunt's Oyster Bar, slapping down a few guys and drinking a couple of cold ones.
That's about right. Yeah. And poor guy. That guy's body is just giving
Dude.
up on him.
Yeah.
Like,
Well-
seriously.
He's had a few mishaps.
Yeah, just a few.
few trees got in the way of some shots and some automobiles.
And on that
Maybe
note,
that's
welcome to
fine.
Alabama,
Yeah.
Tiger. We got to hit a very quick break. We'll be right back.
News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Don't you love the feeling of coming home to a clean house? Let Southern Bell's cleaning service get your home in order. Families in the River region trust Southern Bell's because they know Callan and Jesse will show up on time and believe in cleaning the old-fashioned way. They bring all their own supplies and specialize in full-service, residential, commercial, vacant properties, and construction cleanup. Estimates are always free. Call Southern Bells today at 546-0715 or follow them on Facebook at Southern Bells Cleaning River Region.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
News happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Now, normally at this time of day, we talk to Ray Bowles, but he's
with a client
busy.
right now.
That's good.
Yeah, it's
good
really
to hear
good.
that he's busy.
I know he's busy.
I mean, he's always busy.
He is.
But I like to think we play a small part in their success.
I think we do. I get to talk about some of the great things that he does all the time to people when they ask me for flooring.
So, folks, whether you're looking for carpet,
Yeah.
or hardwood, traditional hardwood,
Right.
laminate flooring, don't think about that stuff that came out in the 90s.
No,
laminate products are like really
so
great
much better now. Yeah.
And if you want that like hardwood look, but you don't want that, traditional hardwood, a little extra care involved.
Oh, yeah.
So why not go with luxury vinyl plank? It looks like traditional hardwood, but it's literally more forgiving. Like it's softer to walk on, but then it's also, hey, you spill something, the dog makes a mess, the kid makes a mess. It's not as big of a deal as it was traditional hardwood.
I love about waterproof flooring. You don't have to worry about that kind of stuff.
And then, of course, ceramic tile if you want to remodel, say, the kitchen backsplash and countertops.
Bathroom backsplash?
Or do a full walk-in shower, ceramic tile. My folks spoiled me, my brother and I.
Oh, yeah?
Like, we had, what do they call where you share a bathroom between two
Jack and
bathrooms?
Jill.
Yeah, so my brother and I shared a bathroom that way.
How was that working for you, Jill?
Actually, it went fine.
Good deal.
Jackass. So it was a huge walk-in, like, grayscale, like, ceramic tile shower.
Yeah.
And I haven't had a nicer shower since. And so, like, folks, it really is worth it.
Oh, yeah.
From my own experience.
Well, it brings up the value of your home.
Yeah, it's
Big
beautiful. It really does look great. Ceramic tile's pretty easy to clean, too.
Yep.
Like, it's great for countertops. Point is, they can do it all there at Prattville Carpet. They'll come to you. They'll literally go the extra mile, come out for a free measurement. And that way they know when you pick whatever you're going to resurface with, what product you're going to use. They'll know exactly how much it'll cost, how long it'll get done. They'll get the job done.
They sure will.
So call them today, 285-8117. That's 285-8117. And be sure to tell those great folks there at Prattville Carpet that you heard about them here on News and Views in the afternoon on the radio. Don't worry about it. I'll just go to them.
All right.
Line 1, you're on there. Who's this?
Papa B.
Hey, Papa B.
Hey, guys. Look, I know this is a real heavy one right at the end of the show, but I just got to say, if Xi is going to make his move on Taiwan, I think it's going to have to be before the election. If it is after the election, he'll have a short period of time to do so. But anyway, I guess discussion for later on, but what do you think about it right now? I mean,
I don't
like
think.
what y'all got to do?
I think the only option is they might flatten Taiwan, but I think they're too reliant on all those microchips.
As much as anybody else is?
Yes, as much as anybody else is.
I see. So you're just saying they won't invade.
Well, but actual amphibious invasion is like one of the most difficult things. Absolutely one of the most difficult things to do. And like easily the United States, Japan, all the allies there at Taiwan could pick off ships. It's not like the waters there in the Strait of Taiwan are easy. There's only a small window, a few months in a year you could even do it.
Right.
There's not many places to land in Taiwan. It's mostly mountains, so not many beaches to jump on. So I think China's willing to bide their time, try to solve it so-called politically. And if push comes to shove, they might, at the end of the day, flatten it. But I don't think that's happening anytime soon.
They won't do it until they have their chip facility built.
That's kind of my thought, too.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, anyway, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
See you, Papa B.
Thanks, man. Well, did we learn anything today?
I learned that Brittany Garner opened up about her time in Russia. She was upset because her toilet was in the ground.
I did hear a couple of her comments the other night.
Well, I don't want to be in a Russian prison either.
Here you go.
I was kind of curious that she wasn't actually grateful that she had a toilet in a Russian prison.
Right.
It was the accommodations of the toilet.
To me, she still didn't, and we all need humbling once in a while. She didn't get it, and she don't get
When
it.
they got her on like having essentially marijuana contraband.
Yeah, you don't go to a country like that with weed in your pocket and think it's
agree.
going to be okay.
I agree.
It's ludicrous, and the fact that it's just the administration we have and the times we're in, they dropped everything to go get her, sickens.
Well, and they released that huge arms deal.
It wasn't that it was who they traded her for that I had a problem with.
There's others there that were more deserving. And that's the nicest thing.
The bottom line.
Yeah.
We also learned that apparently you can tell by somebody's face what their politics might be.
You don't look like a crazy person. You look like you don't look like the...
Well, I look good today. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, you do look good today. I really will say
I learned that you have some musical talent that I was completely unaware of.
You didn't know about that
No,
stuff?
Oh, let him slap the bass in front of you. He's got skills.
Slapping the bass.
I've been working at it.
Yeah.
I really have been.
Let's go.
And there's all sorts of these resources online now that really is amazing. Like I can, if I want to learn Minneapolis rumble styles, I'm a huge Prince fan. So Mark Brown, who is the bassist for Prince for nearly a decade, has a YouTube channel where he's like, "Yep, here's how we did it," and you can
shows you
in detail and all this stuff. I'm like, that's amazing.
That's awesome.
And it's not like, oh, it's not easy. Like it takes getting used to it.
But you actually
it's
have someone
so cool.
showing you.
Like you can see everything now.
I got a guy I need to turn you on to on YouTube, guitar. He's a great teacher. Best I've seen on YouTube.
And I'm trying to think that Charles something is his bass player. The kid is just unreal.
Yeah, now I've seen that. Some really young kids under 16 years old that can.
Or Davey 504, the
bass.
Italian guy. I like to slap the bass, and like he's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun time for music. I think a lot of stuff's kind of gone downhill in the entertainment world and the media world. For some reason, it's difficult to get paid, for streaming music. But in terms of live concerts and getting your name out there, all this stuff, it's an incredible time for music. A lot of diverse stuff being created. We're actually going to a local concert here on Sunday. For Cinco de Mayo. So looking forward to that.
Cinco de Mayo.
Where's that?
The Riverfront. And one of our co-workers here, Toy, will be performing. She's got a brand new album.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've heard some of her album.
Cheated on me.
It's good, man. I mean,
I
it's
cheated on
right.
me. It's Southern soul kind of blues stuff.
Good stuff.
Gotcha.
So we got to hit this break because we're out of time.
That's right.
Happy Hour with Greg Vito. They're next. Y'all stay tuned.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM.